Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, listen, listen. Y'all, child, Irv Gotti is still talking. I guess the Ashanti then put something on him that I don't know what to say about that because it's been about almost 20 years and since he even sniffed it and he's still out here talking and just omitting the fact that during that time that he was messing with the young girl, he was still legally married. So we're gonna get into all that. Also, want to talk about Irv coming out saying, "Yo, that hit song Ashanti Half Happy." Yo, I was the inspiration behind that. It's a lot. We're gonna get into it. So as you come in, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell because as I say, we real random over here, but we definitely get into it. We get into all things celebrity YouTube madness, what's going on in the world. Listen, if they talking about it, we talking about it, Chic talking about it. So tonight we're going to talk about Irv Gotti and this situation with him and the singer Ashanti. It's just really a whole hot mess. To me, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for the man because he too damn old to be still talking about this woman who's way younger than him that's clearly has moved on with her life. I mean, she was with Nelly for close to 10 years, probably at least 6 to 8 years. She was with him for a minute and they've been broken up for a minute and he's still talking. So, okay, so sir, if you're going to still talk, we going to talk. So, I want to get into basically how everything kind of started popping off. I guess this all maybe within the past week, maybe 7 to 10 days, if even that long, where Irv did an interview. I guess he was on Drink Champs and Ashanti came up. And, yes, on the show they brought it up. But sir, I mean, the way he responded to it, you can tell that he was still in his feels about it. You can tell. I mean, it just seemed like the wound was still fresh. But nevertheless, he talked about it. So now the world is talking about it. And this man is looking real crazy out here. I think Ashanti, I personally think the girl, she's embarrassed by it because it's like, oh my God, it's one of those moments like, wow, I regret the day I even let him even sniff it because what they say, don't kiss and tell, like he out here telling it all. So since he's telling it all, I want to get into it and tell it all that I'm seeing out here on this internet. Because as they say, the internet, Twitter, it's undefeated. So y'all know how we do. I'm going to jump over to the internet and go to one of the sites. Let's go to the Shade Room, y'all. Y'all know the Shade Room. Ain't nobody more shadier than the Shade Room. Listen, listen, listen. The Shade Room, they going in on this man or the people, at least they're basically, it's a one-stop shop for you to see what people really got to say about this situation. So we're going to see what the people saying, starting with the Shade Room. So the Shade Room is reporting Irv Gotti omitting he had a wife while in love with Ashanti sparks ridiculous Twitter reactions. Sir, I don't see how he thought that him opening up his mouth on that show, bringing up that woman's name, how it was going to end any other way. I don't know, but listen, clearly he an old fool because he looking real crazy out here, but we finna get into it. This is an old throwback picture of Irv Gotti and the beautiful Ashanti. So let's get into this article. Article goes on to say Irv Gotti sparked hilarious chaos on the internet yesterday after a clip where the previously married music executive admitted Ashanti broke his heart went viral. Twitter users quickly pointed out that he had his wife's shoulder to cry on. Like soon as I started hearing about just this viral moment with him talking about Ashanti, I immediately went, didn't that man have a wife? Like, listen, me and Ashanti like around the same age, but I remember back when she came out, or Gotti, like I remember this man had a whole wife. So I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. How he talking about how his heart was broken over Ashanti when he was married? I cannot, I can't. The article also goes on to say, in case you missed it, the Murder Inc. CEO recalled the moment his heart was shattered when Ashanti and Nelly showed up to a televised NBA game together on the preview clip of Drink Champs. During the interview, Gotti says he was home watching television when he noticed the two stars causing a commotion in the arena. Yo, okay, so y'all, can y'all picture this? He's sitting at home, chilling, feet kicked up, plate, drinks, possibly wife sitting on the side of him, kids running around playing, and he watching the game. Then you hear all this commotion. You like, yo, what's going on? You know, who in the building? Jordan in the building? Like, what's going on? And then the commentators say, oh, Ashanti and Nelly just entered the building. Like, mouth just drop. And then you got a whole wife, so you got to sit there, keep your together, because your side piece out here with her own man, and your wife over. Listen, you can't make this stuff up. It's just the fact that he even was comfortable enough to just even tell this story just shows that he's an entire whole complete clown. Like, who does that? Why would you even tell this story to even embarrass the mother of your children, to get people talking? Because, I mean, while it got him looking crazy, it also got people naturally looking side eye just at the wife. And it's like, okay, ma'am, did you hear what he said? What are your thoughts? Do you have a comment? So it's just a bad situation all the way together. So this is Ashanti right here. Listen. So the article goes on to say, as Irv described feeling betrayed by the chick you effing are in love with, the internet collectively asked, wasn't he married? Like, listen, I knew I couldn't have been the only one asking that question, because like I said, I mean, I was around 20 years. Listen, I knew that man was married. No matter how old I was, I knew enough to know that man was married. So somebody tweeted saying, Irv Gotti saying the woman I'm in love with and not talking about his wife is hilarious. Yes, it is. Irv Gotti was married for 15 years. Debbie Lorenzo, Irv Gotti's ex-wife, confirmed in a 2019 interview that they were married for 15 years until they divorced in 2013. Come on now, like, what year was that he let me see, when did he assign Ashanti? Because y'all, we finna do this math, because what they say, the math ain't math. Then you was married 15 whole years. Y'all got divorced in 2013. So what, y'all was married in the 90s. Like, come on now. We need to see when he signed Ashanti. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna be Inspector Gadget over here tonight. So the ex-wife also appeared unenthusiastic about her husband and his artist hooking up, while Lorenzo did admit that she and Gotti were separated when he began dating Ashanti. However, the music exec's ex says they were legally still married. During a 2019 episode of Growing Up Hip Hop, she shared her feelings about the relationship. So y'all, we're going to get into it. Quote, we were still married, but we were separated when they were dating. I was used to it being from the beginning, like I'm going and travel, like I'm going and traveling. I just wasn't used to the women. That was new. Like, where did these hoes come from? So y'all, fair use. Let's play this clip of Irv, talking to his ex-wife, and Ashanti's name come up. Awkward. So y'all get ready. As you come in, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Let's get into it.
Whole tour. Right. We got this Murder Inc. reunion tour. And it's really dope. Like, we're doing the whole story, telling the whole story of Murder Inc. Ja will open and close the show. Mm-hmm. Fat Joe will be there, fabulous. You know what I'm saying? Possibly Jadakiss, Little Mo. The tricky thing with the Murder Inc. reunion tour is I really don't with some of them.
We know. Like who? We know. Do you want to say names or no?
I can say
or should
names.
I say names?
I say names. A piece of me, Angie, is like, I don't want them around me. Me as a person, I get.
Yeah, but you don't have to be.
I get to choose
have them around you just to like let bygones be bygones.
If we're doing a tour, they're gonna be around me.
Yeah, but for how long?
For months. We're gonna be on stage, and to do this right, I gotta let bygones be bygones. But I'm in such a good place. I got so much great to think about moving forward. I don't want to think about the bad, the past. I mean, the world, everyone knows. I really, I don't Ashanti. We haven't spoken, I don't know how long. With Ashanti, it is a delicate situation. She is a big part of Murder Inc. The fans want that. Everybody wants that. It's weird. Just how I have my version of what has happened with me and Ashanti. She has her version.
And I have my version.
We were still married, but we were separated when they were dating. I was used to it from the beginning, like him going and traveling. I just wasn't used to the women. That was like new, like, hey, where did these hoes come from?
I have a version, understand though. JJ, you have a version? No, JJ was young. I was old enough. JJ was like months.
Yo, you kicked me out.
I was old enough, I remember.
So I was in middle school when all of this like cheating and scandal and like all this stuff happened with my parents. I was young in the sense of like I didn't really know how to comfort my mom. I just knew that my mom was hurting.
There you go. So like, his ex-wife says, we were still legally married, but we were separated. So Irv Gotti says Ashanti wasn't a homewrecker. Oh, really, sir? So let's get into it. In case you were wondering, Gotti doesn't put the fall on his marriage on his outside relationship with Ashanti. In 2019, Gotti spoke about his past relationship with Ashanti during a conversation with Wendy Williams, who asked if he cheated on ex-wife with the R&B star. Do tell. Quote, no, Ashanti is not a home wrecker, Irv said. Ashanti had nothing to do with me and Deb. Deb caught me when I was directing I Cry in Baltimore. Deb, being the vicious person she is, she came down unannounced. I'm Mrs. Lorenzo. Give me the room key. The door was latched, but she knows I'm in there. That's what broke me and Deb up. So to me, it sounds like karma happened to him, while he was messing around on his wife. Then he find somebody that he was open for, which was Ashanti. And lo and behold, she went ahead and creeped out on him. And he found out by being at the crib watching the game. He found out when the world found out. So what they say, God don't like ugly. Karma, nobody's exempt for that. So that's what it get. But anyway, Twitter reacts to Irv's Ashanti confession. Well, that clears that up. But tweets about Irv Gotti being married while admitting he was heartbroken over Ashanti are still pouring in on Twitter. Scroll down to read some of the funny reactions. Somebody said, damn, Ashanti did Irv Gotti dirty stepping out with Nelly. Good thing he had his wife's shoulder to cry on. So let's play this clip right here and listen to it. Look at his face. He still look like, y'all. He looked like this just happened on Sunday. Let's see. Let me make sure. Okay, let me make sure. All right. Get my sound together. Let's hear this man, because he's so heartbroken.
You wanting to be with Nelly?
Sounds like you didn't get past that. Just be honest.
Listen. At the time it happens, any man,
Yeah, of course.
is hurt.
Yeah, right.
The chick you fucking are in love with is with this nigga.
Country grandma.
You wanna hear how I found out?
How you found this?
Only on Drink Chat. We saw in the documentary too.
Yeah. How did you find out, sir?
I was at home.
There wasn't no Twitter or Instagram back
I
then.
was at home. Listen to this shit. This is God wanted me to find out. I was at home. NBA package. I like watching sports. Oh my God, what's this commotion going on in the stadium? We just found out what the commotion is. Nelly has walked in with Ashanti.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when I say that man looks so butthurt, just telling the story, like, come on, what this tweet said. Irv Gotti really sounded like he felt betrayed by Ashanti. A married in feeling salty that his single girlfriend was stepping out with a single man. He was watching the game with his wife, distraught, seeing her and Nelly. Like, that was my thoughts. Like, sir, you're the one who's still legally married. This is a whole single woman who clearly had finally woken up and realized that she deserved more than what your dusty behind was trying to offer her. Now, granted, yeah, you had money, but just because you got money, that don't mean that you don't have dusty antics. And she knew, okay, at this point, I'm young, but listen, I can't be out here young and dumb, So we finna move on to this man over here who's not married. So technically he's still single, and we finna make it do what it do. And they did for many years. Someone says Irv Gotti at home with his wife and kids after seeing Nelly and Ashanti together. Y'all, I don't want to play it. I think this is Ray J in that one song. Irv Gotti sitting behind his wife watching Nelly walk into the game with Ashanti. Lord, oh my God, the internet, when they say the internet is undefeated, listen. Mm-mm. Y'all, like it's tough. It's tough on him, but he opened up this can of worms because he really didn't have to rehatch that and bring that up. I mean, that woman has moved on with her life. Listen, Irv Gotti was sick watching the basketball game, like men will really have a whole wife at home mad that you are out with somebody else. Like, that's the sad part. Like, he ain't the only one who didn't experience. Now, I ain't gonna say people regularly sitting at home watching a game and then they see their side piece, walking up in, the establishment with a new piece. But I'm just saying, I think that it happens more than it should, where somebody who's in an entire situation learns that somebody who they're messing with is also messing with somebody else. What they say, it don't feel good when somebody, do you dirty, but all day long you can do somebody else dirty. And clearly this man had been doing the missus very dirty. So listen, all that happened to him, that's what the hell he get. Okay, this person said how Irv Gotti home with wife screaming at the TV like she was the love of my life. Let's see what it says. Y'all remember that episode of Power when he mushed her face? Men really be needing a solid wife at home to hold them down through all the hurt other women cause them. Like, the irony of it all. The irony of it all. Irv Gotti to his wife after finding out Ashanti and Nelly were
That
together.
I'm living with this. That the woman I love is gone.
Yeah, I feel really bad about that.
Tasha, look, hey. I know I'm asking a lot of you, okay? But just imagine how I feel for a moment.
The audacity. That fool said, imagine how I feel for. Y'all, I told y'all, Irv ain't the only one out there doing stupid stuff like that. He's not. Irv Gotti saying that the woman I'm in love with, not talking about. Listen. Okay, so that's that. We'll let that sit there. I also want to get into this story. So y'all, I'm up, I'm lurking, like, okay, what's Irv talking about now? Because he just got a whole damn lot to say. Child, I wasn't ready for this one. Let's go ahead and jump over. Lord Jesus. Again, please, y'all, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Y'all. Jesus. Listen, so we're over on hiphopdx.com. Can y'all see this article here? Irv Gotti says Ashanti's Happy was conceived right after they had sex. Really, fool? Really? That's how the song came about. Let's get into it. So it says Irv Gotti has claimed that the idea for Ashanti's 2002 hit Happy was conceived right after the pair finished having sex. So your game was so strong like that to where you had this young girl so wide open to where she was like, yo, I'm about to sing the hell out of this song. Like, bruh, like, okay, why did the wife end up? I'm confused. Like, I don't know. I need to hear some women give a testimony to that, not you. I would think the woman would be the judge of that, and I ain't never heard no woman coming out talking about what Irv Gotti bed game was like. So, sir, I'm gonna need you to have several seats. Let's carry on. In the clip from his and Ja Rule's newly released Drink Champs interview, the Murder Inc. founder was asked if his short-lived alleged romantic relationship with Ashanti ever affected business. Quote, it helped her, Irv told Nori and DJ EFN before going on to explain how happy came to be. We just finished sleeping together or whatever. I'm taking a shower. I'm in the shower, and be creative after sex. I think of the whole track in the shower. Gotti said he immediately got out of the shower, made a phone call, and headed over to the studio to begin work on the track with producer Chink Santana. So clearly, okay, so let's flip that. The happy part, that's because he was happy. We ain't talking. Okay, so it wasn't about, okay, this is, she was just so in bliss. He was so in bliss with hitting a young, having sex with a young hot woman. So, okay, that makes more sense because I'm like, sir, I ain't never heard no woman raving about you in any kind of way. But let's carry on. Quote, okay, now it's time for you to write, yo. I want this shit to be a feel good joint like summertime. Irv Gotti. The energy that record came about because of our energy. Nori asked Gotti if he missed that energy a little bit, to which Irv answered, not anymore, bruh. I need my O'Shea Do Jackson soundbite, bruh. You don't damn stop. Stop it, I say. Stop it. Irv Gotti and Ashanti were rumored to be more than just collaborators during the Murder Inc. heyday in the early 2000s, but it wasn't long after catapulting to fame that the Foolish singer began dating Nelly. Elsewhere in Irvin Ja's Drink Champ interview, the veteran hip hop executive revealed he learned about Ashanti and Nelly's relationship from watching a basketball game on TV while he was, quote, in love with the singer. Like, still, y'all, I cannot get over this man going on this large platform, doing this interview that's going to be shown. Basically, millions of people probably going to end up seeing it. And then you talking about how this woman you were sleeping with while you were still legally married showed up to a basketball game with another single man and you was in your feelings. Like, come again, come a damn again. I cannot, I can't do this. I cannot. Quote, I can get past you wanting to be with Nelly, he said while reflecting on his alleged fleeing with the former signee. Listen, at the time when it happens, any man, it hurts when the chick you effing are in love with is with another end. How you think your wife felt, fool? Like, really, you don't think she felt all that when she was rolling up on you at a hotel or whatever out of town and you in there with some other woman while she didn't birth your 2 kids? The audacity, like that's the narcissist. Like, you just, I don't know. Woosah. Quote, you want to hear now how I found out? That was God want me to find out. Oh, so we done brought God up in this. You ain't said nothing about God in your marriage and how you was damn doing the most, but now you want to bring God up in this because he revealed that your side chick actually woke the hell up and went and found her own damn man opposed to somebody's husband. If you don't have several seats and leave God out of your foolishness, like, don't y'all hate when you hear somebody that's doing stupid stuff and then they want to bring God up all us? Like, God, like, don't do me like that. Do not bring me up into your doggone nonsense because your ish then got caught up with you. No, God, the God part, if you want to throw God in, it was about God sending you your karma and you feeling that pain. It wasn't about, oh, you needing to find out. It was about, okay, you needing to hurt just as you've hurt other people, such as your wife, such as your children. Earlier, if you just now joining, I played a clip and I'll go back and show it where the wife reflected on, how she felt when he was messing around and doing the most out there in the street with the women. She was like, she was there for and prepared for dealing with the travel and all that. But sis was like, listen, I wasn't ready for the hoes. Like, I'm just saying, like, I that wasn't in the handbook. I didn't know that it was going to be damn hoes here, there, everywhere. So let's play that clip again where his wife, his then wife, his now ex-wife, talks about back when she had to deal with her husband, the father of her two children, slinging his D across the globe, and how she had to work through that. But meanwhile, he and his feelings and trying to work through trying to have a professional relationship with Ashanti following her hurting his feelings. It's about the audacity for me, y'all.
On this whole tour,
Right.
we got this Murder Inc. reunion tour, and it's really dope. Like, we're doing the whole story, telling the whole story of Murder Inc. Ja will open and close the show. Fat Joe will be there, fabulous. You know what I'm saying? Possibly Jadakiss, Little Mo. The tricky thing with the Murder Inc. reunion tour is I really don't with some of them.
Like who? We know. Do you want to say names or no?
Or
should I say names?
I say names. A piece of me, Angie, is like, I don't want them around me. Me as a person, I get.
But you don't have to be.
I
You
get
don't
to
have to
choose
have them
who's
around
around.
you just to like let bygones.
No,
be bygones.
if we're doing a tour, they're gonna be around me
Yeah, but for how long?
for months. We're gonna be on stage, and to do this right, I gotta let bygones be bygones. But I'm in such a good place. I got so much great to think about moving forward. I don't want to think about the bad past. I mean, the world, everyone knows. I really, I'm with Ashanti. We haven't spoken, I don't know how long. With Ashanti, it's a delicate situation. She is a big part of Murder Inc. The fans want that. Everybody wants that. It's weird. Just how I have my version of what has happened with me and Ashanti. She has her version.
And I have my version.
We were still married, but we were separated when they were dating. I was used to it from the beginning, like him going and traveling. I just wasn't used to the women. That was like new, like, where did these hoes come from?
I have a version of JJ, you have a version? No, JJ was young. I was old enough. JJ was like months.
Yo, you kicked me out.
I was old enough. I remember.
So I was in middle school when all of this like cheating and scandal and like all this stuff happened with my parents. I was young in the sense of like I didn't really know how to comfort my mom. I just knew that my mom was hurting.
That's what he get. Like you hurt that woman, the mother of your children, but though you want to just talk about like what he should have been talking about in that interview is how he broke up his family and how he wished that he would have done better by his wife, because as we're able to see in this clip, this is a solid woman. Like she's, I pick up the energy that she's still about just what's best for the family, or because he's still the father of her children. She's still, to me, showing up as a support to him, even considering all that she's gone through, the embarrassment, the heartache. I ain't seen no apology and nothing that I've covered so far in these clips or reading the articles. All you hear about is him talking about how his feelings was hurt when Ashanti went to a baseball game with Nelly, when Ashanti let it be known that she had a new man, which was Nelly. So you talking about all that, but not one time are you talking about, okay, how you hurt your wife or your then wife, and how you're apologetic about how you behave, because in the end, basically, she was the only solid one you had. Because as you're able to see, Ashanti didn't give two shits about you. So while you talking about you made the song Happy and all of that, which was like a hit song for her, because you saying, hey, Happy was conceived right after we had sex. Okay, sir. Yeah, you were happy, but clearly it wasn't hitting for her the way it was hitting for you, because she went and got her own man. And suddenly you wasn't cutting it. And when sis went and got another man, she, guess what, never even looked back. She never even looked back, and she at a point to where she looked like she might be backpedaling even to go back over to Nelly. So let's hop on over here, y'all. Y'all know how we do over here. We be hopscotching. We going over here to this article about Ashanti and Nelly doing a performance together. So who would ever thought that day would come? Because like I said, they've been over and done with for a minute. Nelly got into a whole nother relationship with Miss Jackson. That lasted for a good about 6 years. And now, I guess these two, I haven't heard about Ashanti or Nelly being linked to anybody seriously, as of late. So, we may be very well dealing with two single people. I mean, well, if you're not, you technically, some may argue, if you're not married, you're single. So we're just going to go with, we're dealing with two extremely attractive single people. Ashanti and Nelly shock fans with playful Body on Me performance. So let's get into this article. On Friday, August 5th, Ashanti and Nelly caused a stir with a surprise performance of their 2008 song Body on Me. The former couple gave fans much to see as the duo playfully interacted with each other on stage at the Oakland Arena. In footage caught by the attendee, fans can be heard screaming as the two recite their lyrics to each other face to face. The two dated back in the early 2000s before calling it quit around 2014. So they've been apart, for like what, 8 years? Like 8 years now. So it's been a good minute, but you ain't heard about her trying to redo anything with Irv Gotti. You just, she's not even trying to even bark up that tree. I really believe, he's definitely in that category of regrets. We all got that one, that 1, 2, maybe 3, where we like, you know what, I really could have done without that experience. And I feel like Irv Gotti is in that category, even though he contributed to, as far as her career, her early success. At the same time, she could have still garnered success without having a romantic relationship with him, because it was about business, and they ended up kind of crossing the line and making it personal. And typically, more often than not, that usually don't work out when people do that. Look at Mary J. Blige. It's like, yeah, anytime you see for people trying to mix business for pleasure like that, it just seems to end terribly. So I would play this, but I don't know if we're going to have any issue. Let me play a little bit. I don't want any copyright issues with playing music. So let's just play a snippet of it. All right. So listen, I don't want to do too much. 'Cause I don't want no problems. But y'all got a taste of it. They looked good together. So I'm sure it was a good look. And the fans were super excited to see those two come out on stage together. Especially, I'm sure it was really unexpected. I forgot they even kind of did music together. My memory is mostly, them kind of being in a relationship versus like, them collaborating together. So, article goes on to say, before Ashanti exited the stage, XXL reports that Nelly took a jab at Irv Gotti's recent comments about the former couple on Drink Champs. According to magazine site, Nelly said, "Hey, yo, I got floor seats to the next game. What's happening?" Nelly's comment follows the viral interview where Gotti revealed that he was in love with Ashanti when he learned that she was dating the country grammar rapper. Y'all remember back in the day, everybody, like my mama was in love with Nelly. I remember story of my sisters where I have sister, they were on the music video set, doing a music video at that time, and Nelly was there. And, my sisters and, knowing that my mom was a fan of his or whatever, they called her and, they put him on the phone, and she didn't realize who she was talking to. And, so she's on the phone with this guy. And then when he answered back the phone, she's like, "Who is that?" And they were like, "That's Nelly." And, y'all, she started spazzing out or whatever. So like everybody, literally everybody and their mama was like feeling Nelly back then in the early 2000s. He was just that guy. So, Irv Gotti, listen, if you thought you was able to compete on any level back then with Nelly in any kind of way, boy, you sadly mistaken. Okay, your wife probably would have chose Nelly over you back then. But I'm just saying, listen, that was a no-brainer that she went ahead and left old chunky Irv for the fine Nelly. So this story goes on just to talk about, with how his interview with Drink Champs went, as far as what he had to say. Talking about God wanted me to find out. Boy, stop. Boy, stop. So Irv Gotti says he was in love with Ashanti when she started dating Nelly. So Ashanti, basically, she's kind of coming off as, kind of unbothered. She not really too much really saying much or anything like that. She's just kind of on this positive vibe. I think she maybe did like a tweet or something like, like positive vibes, whatever. But she's not really entertaining it. To me, she's acting like a whole lady. Ladies, you don't kiss and tell. This man is just out here like just doing the most. Like when have we heard Ashanti even acknowledge that being with that man like that? Like, come on now. Like, so to me, you're able to see who's the person that's really struggling to let go. And it is clearly not sis Ashanti. As we can see, it is not her. She has definitely moved on. And Herb probably really gonna be on on I don't what's the word? His mental health is probably really going to become questionable if Ashanti circle back around and try to rehash that relationship she had with Nelly. Can y'all listen? That man is going to be sitting in a bathtub in a bubble bath with a wine bottle, listening to Mary J. Blige, Not Gonna Cry, if Ashanti rekindles things with Nelly. If he is not already doing that, I'm just saying, like, I can see, because the way he was looking on Drink Champs when he started talking about Ashanti, he just looked like he was really bothered and in his feelings. Like, it was quite disturbing. It was. Cosmo Energy said, no, Irv is upset because she does not want to do reunions or be in the documentary. I get that, but do you think that that's all that he's upset about? Like, do you think it just stops there? Earlier, I don't know how long you've been on here, Cosmo Energy. I had showed some clips when he talked, he talked about her. And, when he was at the table talking with his ex-wife and his son and daughter, and they talked about Ashanti and things like that. But to me, I'm picking up that it's more than that. I think it's a combination of yes, you have your business aspect, but let me see. Cosmo, as you said, it stops there. It's all about the money. Yeah, but that man still, like, you don't think that he's still in his feelings about getting played by her though? Like, yes, he probably can still make money, can still make money with her. Like, he can deal with, he's mature enough to handle, okay, let's make some money together. But he does seem to still be in his feelings about her walking up in that doggone sports arena with a whole nother man, and it wasn't him. Cosmo Energy says, do you have a link to join the show? Yeah, let me drop the link. Let me see. Paste. Okay, there you go. Listen, help me to figure this because this right here, I'm just picking up more than just business here with him. That's all I'm saying. Like, listen, there's always, that opportunity to make that money, but it seems like it's more than that. it just seems more than that. So definitely, we can definitely get into the conversation to get a different perspective, which I always welcome, because most of the time I'm kind of here just, telling it telling things how I view them. But I'm always here to hear other people's perspectives and opinions on this, because just even with the internet and, the comments everybody's making, it just seems like, a lot of people feel like he's still in his feelings about, I guess, being rejected. And then Ashanti, I mean, can you blame her? I mean, she probably has her reasons to not want to work with him. I have heard her talk about recently with, as far as with the business side, and I think not having her masters, wanting them. So, I'm not mad at her with not wanting to look back and just to look forward, because that's just what we should be doing. Sometimes it does us no good to look back. So I just think he's dealing with his karma for just him just moving recklessly out here in these streets, especially, with how he did his wife, broke up his family, just over some nonsense. So now he's out here living with the decisions that he's made. So, I definitely don't feel sorry for him. I do not feel sorry for him, not at all. One moment. All right, so we're going to give Cosmo Energy a minute to come up here so we can hear her perspective, y'all. But yes, I'm not here for his crocodile tears. I'm not. And it looks like there is a consensus that the world isn't. Judging off of these hilarious memes that are out here about this man, like people are like not really feeling sorry for him. Let me see. Let's go get back to the shade room where these comments were made. Yes, yeah. People not feeling sorry for him. They are so not feeling sorry for him at all. But what's so hilarious is when Noriega was like, "Oh, I think you are." When Noriega called him out on his feelings in the interview, like that's another man picking up like, sir, yeah, you're still hurt. You're still hurt. You seem like you need some couch time on this one, So even, Nori picked up that. Okay, so let's add Cosmo Energy. Let me unmute you. Let me see. Uh-oh. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. I want to make sure I didn't have you on mute. Like, listen, let me know your thoughts because I'm picking up all this emotion from this man, all this feminine energy. It's just really thick.
Yeah, and typically I would agree with, your stance, but because actually this is my first time to your channel. I've
Oh,
been
okay.
waiting.
Welcome.
Yes, and I think I'm gonna subscribe because we don't have like we're all adults here. Everyone is grown. We don't have to agree on everything.
Right.
But I
No.
literally left someone else's channel. I'm not gonna say the name or anything, but I just
Okay.
left there. I call it the bushes. Okay. I was
Okay.
in the bushes listening in. And
Uh-huh.
the whole chat was like, "Oh, Irv this, Irv that," and I'm like, "Am I the only one?" It was only like me and a couple other people that was like, "Are they not understand?" Like, I don't know. Okay, so here's the thing, right? This
Okay.
is my opinion. Now, I grew up listening to Ja Rule. I was never really a big fan of Ashanti like that. I really never cared too much for her music or anything, but I was a fan of Ashanti and like Charlie Baltimore. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yes.
Vita,
Mhm.
the
Yep.
the a lot of Murder Inc. was the
Yeah,
that
I
girl.
remember that. Yeah, well, everything was on rotation. You couldn't get around listening to like if you didn't like Ashanti, it was like, oh well, suck it up, Buttercup. You finna hear this
Okay,
song anyway. Like that was before
yeah.
Beyonce was a whole thing. Really, that was during like an Aaliyah era. Like it was just like they were
You know
just in
what?
rotation. Hmm.
Ashanti came out at the same time as A. Marie.
Yes,
And
but A. Marie
A.
didn't pop
Marie,
off like Ashanti did, though.
yeah,
Yes.
but that was crazy to me because A. Marie was that girl. She was
Yes, she
that
was. I guess it was just
girl.
about the backing. She didn't have that support, that
Uh-huh.
machine. I don't know what
That's right.
label she was on.
I think she was on Def Jam. I think she
Okay,
was on
so
Def
because
Jam.
sometimes that can make a difference when you don't have that backing, that push.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's
You're
what
right.
catapult because Shanti wasn't no powerhouse singer now, but she had that machine behind her, that energy, that
Mm-hmm.
jaw rule, like all of that just made her just look good just because of all that
Mm-hmm.
came with her versus her just being this standalone artist like how A. Marie was. Which Ashanti was like everything that came with her to me.
Well, I mean, I understand you, and you're right. I mean, she had a little something going on until 50 Cent came and shut all that down. He talked
Yes.
about her sideburns, talked about Ja Rule, and he just completely annihilated them, which was not fair. But it
Right.
is what it is. That was a long time ago now. We can't cry over spoiled milk, okay? But but
Oh my God.
I was just never really into her music like that. I just was. I'm not saying she was a bad artist or anything.
Right.
She just wasn't my cup of tea, you know.
I got it.
But anyway, I already heard the rumors even way back then of her and Irv Gotti. Like I thought it was a well-known thing that her and Irv had a thing going on because even when Corinne Steffens wrote that book, I think
Mm-hmm.
it was like 2004 or 5 when she
Yes,
released
I
it.
remember that one.
She
Mm-hmm.
even said that Ashanti, and she believed that Ashanti was also messing with Ja Rule, and that Ja Rule's wife would call him a lot and be like, "I know you fucking with." I don't know. Can I curse on your? No, I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to
you
watch
go
my
ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I know you fucking with her and da 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 da. Like she said that in the book. I still have that book. Okay.
Yes.
Um, I believe that. Well, anyway, my point to say that is this: I believe that Ashanti um was sleeping her way to the top.
Yes.
I think people need to, if they're going to talk about Irv, they need to talk about the fact that Ashanti was sleeping with a married man for years.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And I believe that honestly, just the way Irv is, because he didn't even have love for his wife. I don't
Right.
think he gives two shits about Ashanti. I think it is strictly about money. He even said in the interview that him and Nelly are friends. So first of all, people need to understand this is why I don't put these people on a pedestal. I
Mm-hmm.
really typically do not get into celebrity gossip. I really typically don't care. But this right here is so interesting to me because I'm like, damn, people just now knowing that they messed around. So I'm really into this right here. Because
I think that I think what had happened, you know how you hear about these whispers and rumors of things. And so I think it was kind of in one of those categories because we hadn't heard either one of them where it was Ashanti or Irv where they outright came out and said, yes, this was a thing. It was almost like one of those understood things like you know like with Ja Rule, like I remember hearing about Ja Rule, but I didn't bring that up tonight just because I never got, confirmation or from either side that there was ever anything going on with one another. So I think the reason why it's a big deal is because Irv has outright come out and said yes, whereas it's no longer that speculation or that underground or that water cooler talk. He done outright said, yeah, we were together, So I think
Mhm.
that's where the shock factor is coming from. Like, oh my
And
God, like
I get it.
mhm,
I get it. And girl, I'm here for it because
yeah,
like I said, a long time ago, I was like, damn, we been knew. Like, I'm in
right.
LA. So like we been knew that. Like I thought this was common knowledge. I didn't know that it was just a secret or a rumor. I thought everybody had knew that Ja Rule and Irv Gotti and Ashanti was together because remember when Irv and his wife had a reality TV show. I think it was on BET, right? Or was it VH1? I don't
Well,
remember.
that's the thing. I don't think I knew about that on this earlier on. So probably before you came, I was showing clips of that. And I can show it again. And he was sitting at a table and he was talking with this family. And that's when the wife was acknowledging that, no, they were still legally married, but they were separated when
So
Irv was
that's a
messing with.
gag. That's a gag. That is a total gag.
Okay.
Everybody no. See, here's the I think people forget for some reason. This is what a lot of people do, and it don't matter the color, the gender, it does not matter. A lot of people tend to put these people on pedestals just
Yes.
like, well, I'm not gonna bring up her because she's passed away, but I was gonna bring up another singer, and I think you can fill in the blanks where they
Yes.
just was putting her on a pedestal like she was just angel, and then
Right.
years after she passed away, we all found out that she was being passed around and was loose
Right.
in the booty too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people tend to forget that they're human and they have sexual desires, just like a
Right.
lot of other people. And so I said all that to say that I I I mean it sounds to me like she was sleeping her way to the top, okay? And it worked because she still has a name for herself, but we
Mm-hmm.
must not forget that she also stays in Dubai. And what did Cat Williams and all these other people say about what happens in Dubai? These people go over there and they get shitted on, shat on, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm.
They get all type of fecal matter on them for hundreds and thousands of dollars. She stays over there. To me, she is in the same category as a lot of the other girls
Instagram
in that
models.
industry. Definitely, she's probably a prostitute. She's
So do you
probably
feel like now that's an interesting one because I don't really follow her like that. I've seen pictures where she's been over there, but I didn't know that she spends like a lot of time over there.
oh yeah, they
So
say I don't
mhm,
follow her at I don't even have an IG account. I cannot get into the matrix like that.
yes.
But ever since this came out, a lot of there's if you just like search it, I guess on YouTube or whatever
Mhm.
social medias you're on, there's a lot of people posting for years. This girl stays. She's one of those people that stays, okay, over in Dubai. Okay. So that right there to me says a lot as well. And secondly, like I said, like everyone is throwing Irv under the bus, but I think they're failing to get the point. The main thing he said was, I put her on. I put her on. And all I wanted to do was have her come do this documentary. I wanted her to come and let's do a reunion. Let's make some money. I put her on and she said, F that. I don't want nothing to do with Murder Inc. That right there would piss me off too if I was him. And people are not seeing that. They're thinking he's bitter. He don't give a fuck about her. Do you think that she was the only woman he was messing with when he was cheating on his wife?
Did she give a
Stop it.
reason as but so then we have to wonder, well, what's her reasoning as to why she don't want to rehatch that and go back there?
Because she was only, I mean, in my opinion, she's
Mhm.
probably upset. I mean, think about it. I've never messed with a married man before, but I've heard of women that have, and sometimes they fall deeply in love and they get upset when he don't leave the wife,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So who knows? Maybe she was writing songs about this dude. I remember a BET interview she did, and she was like, "Well, my ex-boyfriend, he's the one who helped me do this track." She was talking about her.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
remember this. Like, I see, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe it's the area, but where I am and where I was at during that time, it was like known that her and Irv was a thing. It was like known. And she was not the only one, like he said in the interview. Because that's what they do. That's what these dudes do. They have women in every city, probably every country. You gotta think about it. We're talking about Murder Inc. And he was the top nigga. He was the head nigga in charge. He wasn't Ashanti was just a talented young girl that he made
Mhm.
some money off of. It wasn't nothing, it wasn't that deep. Because if it was, he would have left his wife for her, or they would still be in good terms right now. So you gotta see who's really bitter. I don't think
Well,
Irv is
he's
bitter
saying
at
he was in
all.
love with so what's your thoughts when he's saying he's quoted saying how he was in love with her?
I
Because on the
mean,
that's his words. He was like, the person I was in love with. So he had some feelings of like my thing is so I followed everything that you just said. So even
mhm.
with everything you're just saying and going down that path, and if she did have something serious with him, fast forward to today, just as a woman, think about how often we look to want to just backtrack and revisit or do anything with somebody that was a part of our past like that. To me, the norm is a lot of people just be like, that person's an ex for a reason. I'm trying to move on and move past that. I don't want to deal with that. So it's like I'm not mad at the idea. Let's just say for whatever reason they had something, for whatever her reason was, because I feel like they both were using each other. She trying to get
Yeah.
some,
Mhm.
climb up the ladder or whatever. Him taking, trying to you know how a lot of times the older men promise the young girls, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, you know. So I think they were playing each other, and at the end, I think she played him more so than he played her because of how she
Nah,
left him. I mean,
nah,
to me, he
nah,
didn't look like he was in his feelings on the green drink champ.
nah. Herb, Herb is always like that. That's a real
Okay,
passionate. Everything he talks about is passion and facial expressions and loud
okay,
talking and laughing. That's just who he is. Girl,
okay.
please come on now. Let's stop this. Now, me, I, I don't know. Some women just don't have game, and some do. That was the game. All that. Oh, I was in love with her. That's game because he still wants her to come and do these documentaries, do this movie. Let's do some more music. He still wants to make money. The girl still has a little name, I guess. There's people still reminiscing about the early 2000s, and they like, there's a thing with the 90s and the early
Right.
2000s that's popular. So he's like, fuck that. I want to make some money. So of course he gonna run that industry game. Oh, I was in love with her, to try to pull on her heartstrings. To me, she might be the bitter one. That's why she not trying to go make no money with him. You see?
Well, remember she had been recently talking about it, and not in the last some months back, about her masters and trying to get her music. Like, had you heard her talking about that?
Girl, I don't keep up with her like that. But
Yeah, she
it's
was
it
talking
is
about she's upset. Okay, so she's upset because they won't give her that opportunity to purchase to get her master. She's like really pissed off about it. So what she did, the
okay.
roundabout way, she remixed her, re-sang. I think she ended up doing it, or she said she was going to do it. This is she was talking about it, I think, after she did the verses. She said she was basically she had redid all of her songs and did some changes or with the music something, so therefore she can resell it. Like, she's trying to figure out a way to go in a roundabout way to make money off of her music, because she was like, he won't let her get her master's. So it's personal. Yes, it's personal. And I don't think that it's more so from the relationship part. I think she's mad on that business part of like, why, sir, why can't I buy my master's? So they both pissed
Well,
off for whatever that reason.
that shows that mentality. She don't have no game, because if she really did, if you're gonna be sleeping your way to the top, girl, you need to be playing the game the way it needs to be played. In that
Mm-hmm.
case, what I'm saying is, if she played her position properly, she will possibly still have the masters. She's not playing it right. It's just all crazy. See, people sitting up here thinking, oh, like, I don't know why people are not understanding where Irv is coming from. Irv is simply, this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
No one has to agree with me. This is my opinion. I'm entitled to that.
Yes.
In my opinion, Irv, this is strictly business for him. We have heard time and time again throughout the history of the music industry of women sleeping with these industry executives, right? These
Right.
music
Mm-hmm.
executives to get a record deal and this and that. That's all Ashanti was doing, but she did not play it right. And I think she's in her feelings. That's why she don't want to maneuver and play the game with him, because she's hurt. She probably found out she wasn't the only side piece. What do you
Mm-hmm.
expect? This man is
Right.
a
Married.
freaking multimillionaire. He's
Right.
married. Of course you're not the only thing. You're the option, and you're his money maker. So of
Right.
course he's going to give you a little bit more time, but you're not the only one. He's using you, girl. If
Right.
she was smart, she would have flipped the script and just played her position enough to sweet talk and soften his heart enough to possibly get those masters. And she probably could be making more money now. She wouldn't have to be over in Dubai. She wouldn't
Right.
have to be, doing all these tours, if she would have played her position properly. I
Yeah, I mean,
think people,
I feel like, yeah, there's some resentment there. Because like I said, I heard her speak about the music part, and I get what you're saying as far as, she didn't play her cards right, but now in the present time, she's living with that. So she's like, okay, I don't want any parts. I don't want no relationship, nothing like that with this man. I want to keep it strictly professional, and I want this. And this man is like, no, no, you need to do this. So I think it's coming down to where she's feeling like, okay, like somebody may like a puppet, like somebody may be able to hold strength, hold something over your head, or maybe be in the control of saying, okay, well, yeah, maybe I'll entertain it, but you got to do this for me. You know, maybe at a point to where she's like, yo, I don't want anything personal or sexual with you. I just want to keep it as business. I want to buy this. I want to do that. But then she's feeling like this person still maybe would like to have more and is using that to say, well, no, you got to do this. It's like a tit for tat. So I think there's
Oh,
just,
it could be.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I think it could be like a tit for tat to where we don't know that, you know, we just see what they're throwing out there. So we don't know behind the scenes what kind of emails, phone calls that has been had to where one party is trying to keep it business, another party's trying to add some other stuff like, well, maybe we can talk about it over dinner. I don't want to have damn dinner with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like sometimes like I ain't gotta go to Red Lobster with you just to, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, you know, it could be something like that too, to where it's just like, man, we're grown. Can we just keep this professional, have our lawyers involved? And then one
But how
party's
do we
like,
know? But how do
mhm.
we know that that's not the case? She's cool with Ja Rule. How do we know that that's not the case? But she's just so like,
But Ja Rule
uh-uh.
don't own nothing. Ja Rule don't have nothing that she
Yeah,
needs.
but what? But he could be the mediator in the city. Like, okay, listen, I talked to Irv. He said he not gonna do this, that. Listen, he just wants you to work with us on this document. Let me tell you, there was an episode of Punked that
Mhm.
Ashanti was in back in the day, and she's
Okay.
a bitch. She's not a nice person.
I've heard that lit because I'm here in Georgia, and so I'll tell you. So you know, Ricky Smiley's, you know, so at the radio. I don't, you know, I don't think he was even syndicated. He might was syndicated back then, but he was doing his show out of here in Atlanta, and he told the story. I think it was him who was telling this story of Ashanti and Ashanti's mom, and they were like her mom, like they was just like they, especially he talked about they was not pleasant people.
Yes, I've been hearing that for since she's been out. I've been hearing that for a long time. And like I said, I'm in a city where they be at recording, records, and so word
Mhm.
gets around. Just
Right.
like where you in Georgia, you probably
Yes.
hear it just from word of mouth. We're in
Yeah.
two hot spots. Anybody
Yeah.
in New York or something probably have stories too. You know,
Yeah.
um, she's not from word of mouth, word on the street for years and years that she's not pleasant at all, and all that laughing and cackling and all of that is an act. But I'm not
Yeah.
surprised by that because all of them are fake, all of them are phony. They're literally paid to put on an act. That's why I don't put these people on pedestals,
Right.
because they're
Mhm.
they're typically not who they present themselves to be. But for some reason, um people are jumping on Irv, and the only reason why I think people are jumping on Irv is because it's her. I think if this was another rapper, no, another executive and another singer, whoever, that a lot of people just didn't like that, or whatever the case may be, I don't think they would even be jumping down the man's throat like this. I think it's because it's her. It could be some propaganda behind this. There could be, whatever executive she go to Dubai with, maybe they putting some they, because they're known for like spamming comments, and they'll put their little bots and stuff in comment sections to influence people's
Mhm.
thoughts and stuff. We don't
Yeah.
even know if that could be the case as well, because I just do not get why people don't understand his point. Honestly, if I was in that situation, I would be a little salty as well. I mean, what did he do? He didn't lie. He told the truth. Him and her had a relationship. He, thought of the song Happy when they were like, it's not a lie. So what is the problem? Why is everyone upset? It's
I
not a lie.
I think people, so I can believe that that was the inspiration, all that. I think that people are just like, yo, like more on a, like, why the hell are you talking about it now type stuff.
Because it's sensational, and that's what we like. That's what people tuned in for. They wanted to hear about the gossip. Let's keep it a
Yeah.
buck. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Okay, like this is what I'm talking about. This People are so wishy-washy and
Mm-hmm.
choosy on what they want to be. This fake People are fake is what I'm trying to say. Because if he didn't talk about it, then people will be like, "Oh, that was boring. Why I didn't ask him about Ashanti?" You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when he talk about it, oh, why you talk about Ashanti? So
Yeah.
it's like, which one is it? I know me personally, I tuned in to hear about the 50 Cent beef and the Ashanti fallout. That's what I tuned in for. Because I wanted to know, I wanted to hear if he was gonna spill and tell everybody that he was sleeping with her like we already knew anyway. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it.
Well, I
You
think
know?
also we live in a, and I also, and I talk about that a lot on this channel. I feel like we live in a society to where it's a double standard between men and women, and that women can get away with doing things, with talking and saying certain things, but soon as the man do it, then it's a whole problem. So I think it's just that energy of him kissing and telling and talking about it. That's the problem. But though if she were to
Yeah,
talk
but
about it or
but
whatever, then it wouldn't
people
be a
know
problem.
that's I mean, you're right, but I don't think that's the case here. I think it's
Okay.
simply, like I said, this girl goes to Dubai a lot. So whatever prince, so whoever is shitting on her over there in Dubai, whatever, allegedly,
Hmm.
um, maybe they done put some bots and shields, okay,
Okay.
in the chat and spammed up stuff to influence and sway people's emotions on this situation. I don't know, because where was this energy when 50 Cent talks about the that girl? Vivica Fox is cool as shit. Let me tell you something. I know people in other states who have told me stories of Vivica coming to their state and supporting black businesses, like writing them checks, dropping money, just because they were black businesses. To me, that's what's up. Okay, where was this? And she ain't no singer. She ain't, you know what I mean? None of that. I'm not putting her
Right.
on a pedestal, but what I'm saying is she has a history. If you ask around, she has a history of being very supportive and just really a genuine person. She's not like a lot of those other people in that industry. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's why she's always working. So my point is, where was with that, considering her background and the things that she's done for communities in certain areas of this country, with the little status and money that she has, where was the energy when 50 Cent was talking about her? She was the butt of all jokes. As a matter of fact,
Yes. For a long time.
she still
She
for a
still
long
is. Yeah.
time. And she still is, and I think she look good as hell to be damn near 60 years old. I think she's fine as hell.
Yeah.
But but if you look at these comments, and you listen to people talk about her, she can't catch a break. They still dogging her all because 50 Cent, disliked her. So where was that energy for Vivica that they have for Ashanti? I'm not understanding what's going on here. Ashanti slept with a married man for years, okay, to get a record deal. And then when things wasn't going her way, she left and went and had sex and had a relationship with his friend Nelly. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. But all Vivica did, all she did was sleep around with a single man as a single woman. You tell me which one is worse. I'm not understanding.
I think it's coming down to the likability, as far as the fan base that they have. I think that Ashanti's fan base in a collective with her, since she was a singer, so she garnered a different type of fan base than say a Vivica Fox. I think Ashanti's fan base just rolled hard for her. Her and Vivica
Mhm.
they got a completely different fan base. Like, I don't
Mhm.
think they have the same fan base. I
Uh,
don't think so. So
So
I
you think
think
it's
that,
a fan thing?
yes,
Okay.
I think it's a fan thing, as far as, yeah, that to where you got your fans that they gonna ride or die, they gonna ride hard for you. So that's what I think, it's just that Ashanti's fan base, they was just going, they just went hard, like who got a hard a good I think Ashanti got a really hard fan base, like a Nicki Minaj got a hard fan base, a Cardi B got a hard base, Rihanna. You got some people where they can't do no wrong. Their fans are so ride or die for them. And I think that's what I think Ashanti is one of those people that got a hard fan base. She got a big following, even though she ain't put out no music then damn Lord knows how long. but she stepped
Yeah,
on the
I don't
scene.
understand that. Like who, like what age demographic is her fans? She wasn't around that long. She only made a
Yeah,
couple
I mean,
albums.
I think so Ashanti was like she's like so Ashanti's like around my age, so she's around what like around close to right around 40.
She's
So her
past 40. She
Ashanti,
about 40 something,
let me see,
right?
because let me see how old she is. Let me see, because I just remember she was born in 80 like me, so we're the same exact. She's October 13th, I'm October 25th, so she's about to be
So she's
42.
like 42. Okay.
Yes, yes. So in her around 40, around that age. So I just think that she just got a really solid fan base. Then she coming up out of New York too. I think sometimes too, where these artists, where these people come from too, it makes with how hard people just coming from certain geographical locations where they got hard ride or die fans. Like New Yorkers, they ride for each other. LA, those areas, the fans, Snoop Dogg, these people that come out of these places, it's like they can do no wrong. Their fans are going to ride or die for them. And I think
That's
Vivica,
okay.
what was that?
Okay. Yeah, no, I think you have a point because with the actors, it's kind of different.
Yeah,
It's different with them.
yeah, it's real different, with actors. Like when a singer, an entertainer, it's just like they
But
be on
see,
some
that's what
other
I'm
kind of
saying.
level.
But
It
you expect that type of behavior from children and teenagers and young adults, like 18 to like 24 or something like that. Once you reach a certain age, you shouldn't be standing like these people are human. She slept with a married man to
right.
get tracks, and she kicked rocks and moved on to the next biggest thing, the next bigger rapper at that time to try to get on with him and his little crew.
So
Like
here's a
the girl, like
I got
like
one
like it
more
is
thing.
what it is.
Yeah, I got one more thing perspective to add too. Also, as we're talking about the difference with
I
Vivica.
disagree, Uranus. I disagree with that. Why don't you hit the link, Uranus?
Yeah, let me
I
see.
like the name.
Yeah. Yes, I think too with Ashanti, because of how she looks, I think Ashanti has grabbed the attention of a lot of millennials.
Because of how she looks.
When I
She
say
look
how
like the
she
rest of them.
No, what I'm saying is how she looks. So I'm just right now comparing her to Vivica Fox. That's who we started out.
Well, yeah, Vivica's
Ashanti,
almost 60. So yeah, I
yes.
understand.
So
Yeah.
I'm still going down that road of those two ladies because you use Vivica as an example. What I'm saying is
Okay.
that Ashanti still has she's able to still dip into that fan base of the millennials. So therefore, the millennials, these are millennials who growing up with that thought culture, that city girl culture. So sleeping with a married man, I don't think they turning their
Mm.
nose up to something like that. You know,
Oh, good point,
they about
girl. Good
that,
point, girl.
they about that
Okay.
life. They're about that life. So
Yes,
they not
good point.
they're not gonna that's who all on Instagram and all. You just set up and say you don't even got an account. Girl, my Instagram is basically posting like I listen, I hop on, hop off. So I don't use the gram like they use it. So Ashanti is still able and she still looks good. So she's still able to still look like them. They don't look at Ashanti and see a 40-plus-year-old woman. That's not what they
No,
see.
she looks nice.
Yes. So when you're talking about the mindset of these people, they're not mindset of these 40-year-olds who think like that. These 25, 27-year-olds are like, he need to go somewhere, Ashanti, she did see that. Like I said, like a city girl. Put Ashanti next to a city girl. You wouldn't think Ashanti shouldn't be looking still like a city girl, but that's how she's still choosing to move in these streets. She still
I
is.
know, right? All that makeup. But
Yes.
I think I saw a picture of her without the makeup and she still looked nice. So I said, okay. Because all that makeup and all that weave, like
Yeah.
girl, come on. What happened to just embracing your natural beauty? Like why you have to anyway, that's a whole nother
Well,
conversation,
yeah,
child.
I mean, that's most of them. That's always a debatable, with that. They all just look alike, but it's
They
what
all look
sells.
alike.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
like
That's my point.
it's like a costume. It's like
Hmm.
it's like a costume
Do you
they
remember
put
her,
on.
girl? Do you remember her and Keisha Cole, girl, had the same exact hair? They had
Yep.
the same hairstyle, same makeup. I said,
Yep.
what is
That's
going
just
on
that's the
here?
culture. That's what you're getting. And you know who's looking like that largely a lot of the younger girl, the millennials, then you got the 40-year-olds and even some going into the 50s. Like that's just the look. Like nobody's walking around wearing their natural hair. Like it's more rare to see somebody having a natural look, not heavy makeup, wearing their natural hair, shorter nails. Like that's the stand. Listen, I'm a standout. What you see on this picture, that is not what I walk around and see mostly here in Georgia, even on the internet. Like you
So you're
mostly
wait, hold on, let me look at your picture. Hold on. Oh, cutie pie, little natural. Okay, girl.
that is not the norm. Thank you. Like I stand out. That is not what you get. Like you mostly are going to get
Girl,
with the Ashanti, the Cardi B, the City Girls. That is what you're mostly seeing.
nah, me and you on the same path, child. 'Cause I'm very natural. I get complimented all the time about everything from
Yes,
head to
but you
toe.
know what? It's
Okay.
refreshing when people will see somebody like us because it's so abnormal. It's not the
Yeah.
norm.
But
Like,
actually out here, I don't know, out here in Southern California where I am though, actually, I see a lot of natural women. I do.
here, yeah, I see in Georgia, like it's mostly about it's they everybody's got these wigs and stuff and nails. Like there was a time because I'm from California too. I'm from Northern California though. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
so when I left, it was I left in 96. So it wasn't about weave and things like that heavily when I left during that time. So I don't know how they're moving when it comes to all of that over there now, but I know as far as in Georgia, no, it's about having the lace front, the long nails, the lashes.
Yeah.
That's what you're seeing. And then now, dabbed here and there, you'll see, a natural look, but for the most part, you're seeing somebody with a wig on. Like that's like
Mm,
your basic, your default look is somebody with a wig on. And
mm.
typically the ones that you will see that's not like if it's a girl and she don't have the wigs on, a lot of times she's maybe like a stud or something, but otherwise,
Wow.
like if she's like a feminine, female, she's gonna have a wig on. She's gonna be in her wig. You might see, women, girls, a lot of girls, we always gonna do our braids, but if they're not wearing braids, they're in a wig. And then dabbed here and there, you'll see some women like myself, and their hair is like locked, but you're mostly gonna see the wig, especially with your young girls, like your millennials and things like that. So Ashanti
That
has
is
that
so
look that it's a
yeah,
cookie,
I understand. I
it's a
understand what you're
cookie
saying.
cutter look. It's a cookie cutter
Yeah,
look.
that's cookie cutter, very much
Yep,
so. Yeah.
it's a cookie. It's an industry look. All of them look
Yeah.
alike. So Ashanti has that going for her to where she's still looking like everybody else. So,
So, so do you think that that's a trend that's gonna go away, or do you think that's here to stay?
No, I mean, no, no, I think it'll always be a thing to look like the next person. It's just going to be a matter of what will the new look start to become, but it's still going to be something that's initiated by somebody in the industry.
Well,
So
the right, and you're absolutely right because I remember when Khalees shaved the side of her head, and
yep,
they and she was the first black girl
Cassie
I
did.
saw on TV that actually did that, and then Cassie turned around and did
Cassie
it,
did
and they
it. Yeah.
and they
So
gave the credit to Cassie when the first
Cassie.
black woman I saw was Khalees do that. You
Well,
understand?
yeah, he
So
gave
you're
her
absolutely
that's
right.
the credit
But
for
this is
cornrows.
right. But this is what I was gonna say.
Mhm.
I was gonna say there's a trend right now of a lot of these girls shaving their hair. Sweetie was on a interview. She shaved her
I
hair.
saw that with
Um,
Kevin Hart.
and
Is that
Doja Cat as well.
yes?
So do you think that they're trying to start a new movement for more women to embrace their natural? You know what I'm
I would
saying?
love if they did, just because I mean, I think it would be a start to get. I mean, just from because because I'm a YouTuber, so I be on the internet a lot, and I listen to a lot of different people and the platforms, and the consensus is guys are not here for this look.
Oh,
The men are not here for this cookie cutter look like this. Like they don't like it.
What, all the weave and stuff?
Yes, yeah, they hate it. Yes.
No,
Yes.
no, but you know what, girl? Oh, I'm so glad I caught your channel, girl. I'm gonna have to subscribe, girl.
Yes.
Girl. Okay, we're gonna have some more conversations because
Yes, we gonna have. Make sure
I
you have your
remember.
notification bell on, so you know when I go
Oh,
live,
absolutely,
pop up on here. I don't know why I be
absolutely.
connected with people in California because I'm way 3 hours ahead of y'all. I'll be up messing around with y'all because y'all
Oh,
3
so
hours
it's about
behind
like
me.
what, 1 o'clock there, huh?
Yes, but yeah, I'm up because I don't have to be up early tomorrow, so I can play around with y'all. But it's always somebody West Coast that want to get it going. I be on here for like 3 hours. It don't be nobody from Jersey. I be vibing
But
from, I
girl,
guess, because I'm from California. I be vibing from other people from California.
okay, but girl, so no, so I remember back probably, okay, so this is 22. So I'm gonna say like maybe like 6, 7 years ago. I remember when that was the thing, because I remember feeling like, damn, do I see? The thing is that my natural hair is really long. So when I
Okay.
wear it straight, people ask me, oh, who did your hair? Is that a weave? And all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
So now I just wear my natural curls because then I don't like being mistaken with the fake shit. I just, it's a thing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
I remember some years ago feeling that guys actually wanted the extreme, a lot of makeup, long
Mm-hmm.
nails, these crazy long wigs down to the floor
Mm-hmm.
and all that. I remember thinking that was like the thing, the zhuzh. But you're right. Now, well, I never did it. Like I'm not a follower. I do my own thing.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
now, fast forward to 22, I think you're absolutely right. Most men that are actually something that you would want, right? They don't like all of that. They want to see your
No,
natural beauty. They
they
want that.
don't. And this is like because I pay attention to like, so like I said, I'm on the internet a lot. So I listen to these guys, I be on different platforms. They don't like that. And then they feel like all the women, they don't know what they're getting. Like it's almost like
That's
they feel like
right.
they're
A
catfish.
catfish. A
Yes.
catfish.
So
Yes,
here's the thing and then also on the internet, it's always heavily talked about with women, and there's a lot of women who want to get married and and things like that. And what I notice is that these women, so unless I have Ashanti on my screen, I live in, like I said, in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta. Women that look like Ashanti, they're not walking around with husbands. Mm-mm. They're not married. The ones that are
they're
married
not.
are the ones that look like how you described yourself and how I look, the natural look. They do not
Come
look
through.
like that.
Come
So
through.
they don't look like that. So when I'm looking at all these women looking alike and they're saying, oh, it ain't no good man, I want this or I want that, they're not attracting the man. They're not
Mm-mm.
attracting him. They're willing, that man will play with him, and do whatever, but he ain't trying to wipe up something that looks like that. The
You know
average,
why?
they
Let me
don't
tell
want
you.
that. They say
That's
they
right.
want somebody who's real. Most men talk about, I don't like heavy makeup. I don't like all that weave. Like I hear that so much.
But there was a time when they did want that shit because
Yes,
they
I
were
agree.
they were they were brainwashed, but they're snapping out of it. But let me tell you
Yes.
what my
Mm-hmm.
brother told me. My brother said not only is it a catfish, but it also says, because any woman can be nice looking with a pound of fucking makeup on her
Right.
face, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a weave, whether it's short or long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a given, right? But what he said was that it shows insecurity. It shows
Yeah.
that the woman does not like what she really looks like.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you got to run to the store and you got to put on a pound of makeup just to go
Yep.
to the grocery store, you got to throw on a wig just to go to, take your trash out. Like that's crazy. And that's what they're doing.
Well, that's how I always view with makeup, and because I feel like the heavier that somebody has on makeup, the more they have to hide. And so
That's right.
that's how I look at it. And then how and then I hear so many, just men, they always say, like like I said, I'll be on these platforms, and if these guys talk about their lady who they got in their life, they'll say, My girl don't wear all that. I told her I don't like all that. That is what they say. So I see that a lot of these girls who are heavily made up, they're single as a dollar bill. They don't have nobody. And they're thinking that being made up, looking like what Ashanti's looking like on the screen, this is going to get them somebody. But that's not that's not what it is. Because to them, these men are looking at these women as
You're a
though
prostitute. They're gonna see a prostitute
they're
and easy.
fake,
Yeah,
they're not
you're
authentic.
fake.
It's the
Yeah.
complete opposite. So it's just like,
Yeah.
ladies, if you only knew. So like on my platform, as I talk about different things that's going on in the world, I also bring in more often than not, I'll find a way to bring in the perspective of just family, because I'm married. I've been married for October be 18 years. So I've been married for a long time.
Correct.
That's not the norm. That's like very rare. So I speak from a perspective of, I know what it's like. I'm experiencing something that most Black women haven't and may not ever will. So I can talk from a perspective of, ladies, that ain't what they want. That's not what it
And look
takes.
at that picture. Look at that picture right there with her ass out with the
Right.
thong on stage. She's on stage with that.
Yes.
Girl, stop it.
Yes. And that's not
Like,
what the
this is
man
what I'm saying. This
and
is
the
why
men.
A. Marie,
Right.
this is
Yes.
why A. Marie was that girl. Because she
Yes.
didn't do all that.
She didn't have
She
to
was
do all
that
that.
girl.
And she didn't. And look, Shanti, Shanti's now in the early 40s. She's still never, no children, haven't been married, anything like that. So she's still out there trying to, I guess, find love with a lot of other ones. But I just think that a lot of the women, and especially like the young girls, they got it twisted. They don't really understand what it takes or what these men, what they're looking for. They think that it's all superficial. Oh, well, Beyonce looks this way, so I need to look like her. But that's not how it works in the world. That's not how it is. These men, they want to see someone that they can see what they actually look like and not be fearful of, after they take off the pounds of makeup and the weave, that they look a hot mess. Like,
That's right.
That's a fear. Like, that is like a fear of theirs. They do not
You should
like
pull up.
that.
You should pull up a video of women putting on that makeup, covering up what they like, transforming themselves.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh,
lot
like
of
on TikTok. Like, I've seen some people on YouTube, like, it's a hot mess. Them men be like, they look, I be scared. I be scared for them. Like I always said, I always want to move in these streets as a what you see is what you get kind of chick.
Okay.
So I don't want you to be surprised. Like,
Because when
okay,
I do make myself up, you go, ooh, girl, what the heck?
yes,
You know
that's
what I
what
mean?
you
You
said.
know,
You're gonna enhance it.
right.
It's just gonna get better. So if they
That's
met you
right.
without it, when you get hooked up, it's gonna even be better. You don't want it to be in the reverse. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
fake.
And
Exactly. Come
with
through. Come through.
these women, it's in the reverse. So then when they come out of all that stuff, they looking like Skeletor, and they like, what the hell? These men are like, they spooked, because they like, wait
But
a
these
damn
men
minute.
got to step. But the men have to step their game up as well.
Yes.
Because I don't know. Well, you're married, but I'm divorced. But there's a lot of lies and deceit.
Yep.
There's a lot of empty pockets and dust falling out of them. Okay,
Yep.
and lint, honey.
Yes.
If you want a bad girl, a bad one, a bad woman, a nice looking woman that has something going for herself as well, naturally
have
beauty
something
from
going
the
for yourself.
inside out, you have to be that as well.
Yeah, like
Okay.
attracts like. Yep. You
Okay,
got to be that
period.
thing. And that's another thing where, you hear a lot of talks where there's a disconnect there, where people are wanting what they're not even bringing,
Right.
So
Right.
the math ain't mathing. Like, it's not making sense. You
It's
can't be
not.
asking for the world and you ain't coming with nothing. Like, these
Okay.
men, even men today, like, they're not looking for the woman to be able to take care of them, but they want to see that you still coming with some type of substance. You still got something that you're bringing, that you can carry yourself like a lady. You responsible. You can handle your business. There's still certain things they want more than somebody who can had a face beat and had their weave laid to the side like
Okay.
that. they because as they say, that's a dime a dozen. Like you can see that any and everywhere around here. Like
Right. And
that
a
is
woman wants
that's
right. And a
nothing.
woman wants a man that's offering more than just dick.
Yeah,
Okay. But
yeah, that's
let me ask you
nothing.
this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you done a video on this whole Gina 2 situation? Because let me
Oh
say
yeah,
something right
girl.
here.
That's that video. I
I
did a
think that's
video. Yeah, it's good. Check that out because that one's right now is like my biggest performing video right now. Everybody interested in that, so it's
okay, because I think that's fake outrage as well. I think if that was somebody else, I don't know who, but I think that there's a lot of coon chips activated when it comes to a lot of stuff
mm-hmm,
because clearly the girl was, out here bopping and thotting. Okay.
right. Mm-hmm,
You know,
right,
and she wasn't protecting herself. She does not know how she got it, didn't even know she had it, didn't
right.
know how long, didn't know who gave it to her, and was connected to all these different entertainers. Come on now, 2 and 2 equals 4. The girl clearly was some type of IG model, and most of them are prostitutes.
Right,
They're on sale, they're for sale.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm not with this is why I don't a lot of this celebrity gossip and stuff, like some of it I just
Mm-hmm.
really most of it I just cannot get into it because there's so much groupthink, there's so much fake love and fake support and fake outrage. I cannot, like, I'll
Well,
be wondering how old are these people.
I think with the Gina 2 situation, it's more people are mostly intrigued by who she's supposed to be linked to, not so much about her too much. It's who she's supposed to be connected to because the people who she's supposed to be connected to are some big names.
But let me tell you, she did an interview denying all of those. Now you
Well,
know they
yes, I
paid
saw.
her
Yeah.
to be quiet. They paid her to not say nothing.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I'm sure. Hell, you probably didn't even have to pay her. Hell, for the sake if she like living for as long as she lived. Listen, it had nothing to do with nothing.
Okay.
Listen, she already struggling to breathe every day, so she didn't need nobody
Oh,
impeding the little bit of oxygen she got left. So
oh.
it would behoove her. So I don't think it would behoove her to keep quiet because with these names that are getting thrown around, it just wouldn't be, it
Yeah,
would be in her best interest. How about that?
yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
picked up on that. So I'm like, this lady,
Uh-huh.
she ain't crazy. She clearly like living, and she might be struggling to live these days, but she's still living
Mhm.
and she want to keep it
Yeah.
that way. So I think what's
Mhm.
making her so big is not really who she is. It could be any other person still. It's who she's been proven to be linked to. Now, whether or not she has sexual relations, that's debatable. But what has been proven is that she has been in the rooms with these people because there are pictures out there.
And what they doing? Talking about what? Okay. What?
Well, like there
Acting
was on
role?
my video, I don't know if
Sure.
you've seen it already, that she was
Uh-uh.
leaving the hotel with Nick Cannon.
Oh, I saw that somewhere else. Yeah. And she
Yes.
was linked to Tyson Beckford, Chris Brown. She's been in the industry for a long time.
She says she went to New York at like 18, so she about 10 years. So she feel like she got it, when she first moved to New York. So yeah, she's been
She
she's
might
been
know.
around.
She probably know who gave it to her, but is too afraid to say. It might be a powerful figure that even gave it to her. Oops. I mean, like, let's
Yeah.
keep it a buck, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Because
she lives such a
listen,
reckless lifestyle, and that's the
I'm
thing
about to
too.
tell you a name, and you can pull this up. I don't know if you want to. Hold on, let me look it up.
Okay.
There is a name, and this is just. Hold on, let me look it up. Oh, hold on. This is a trans. Okay. Um, maybe I can put the link in the chat. Oh, it's gonna
Okay.
knock me out. No, I'm not gonna be able to do that because I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone. Okay. So what I typed in was LL Cool J trans, and so it's a video that's 14 minutes, and it's a trans that used to deal with LL Cool J and Mr. C. This person actually wrote a book about them and everything. This is what you're dealing with in the industry. So she might know who gave it to her.
I mean, she very well. I mean, I think because her lifestyle was just kind of like a reckless kind of one. it could go any way where she could very well know who gave it to her, and she can, because she was just about that life, and she acknowledges, that she was homeless, she got I wouldn't be surprised if she does, but the fact that because she had, it's almost like, I guess, to us, or it's not the main, I guess, who she got it from isn't, I guess, the main center focal
Concern.
point
Uh-huh.
concern, because she got it and she didn't had it so long. Now the main thing is who she's, okay, well, you got it, but who you been playing with since you've gotten it,
Uh-huh. Because that's a
and
long time, 10
yeah,
years.
yeah. And then she
Uh-huh.
said, she's been around a lot of people in the industry. She didn't say she sexually done. She just said, she hung around, rubbed elbows with a lot of people in the industry. So I just think that's what's making her really popular. It's just not really her, really who she is. It's more so with the who, because I think she wouldn't be as popular if she just got on got on the internet and told her story, and she wasn't connected to celebrities. If she was just some regular Lisa and she did a TikTok telling her story, she would just be looked at as, wow, people would talk because she got so thin, it'll be a heavy talk, but it wouldn't be like how it is. And what's making it be on this level is because of the names. And it's not even like, it's like A-list type celebrities. It's not like, it's like bottom shelf like celebrities. It's like, it's just like people who are still running
Yeah, it's a
around having
name. That's right.
people who are having babies right now. So that lets you know
That's
these
right.
people are active and sleeping with people all over the place. So that's what, to me, I feel like, it's about. But yeah, you can so yeah, I covered that, and I went in deep on that one, and just talked about it from a bunch of different angles. So yeah, that video's out there that's doing pretty well with circulating. But I mean, I just feel like she was moving in these streets reckless, being irresponsible, and she got so sick to where she finally had to own up to it. I'm not convinced that she necessarily just found out a year ago that she has it. I think that
Mhm.
it's come out to where her health got so bad to where she kind of was backed into a corner and had to finally acknowledge it to people, because
Wow.
she couldn't hide it anymore, because it started to impact her visibly, to where, because some people can live with it and still visibly kind of still look, I guess, normal. But then you got
Yeah.
some people who their bodies will make a drastic change. And when her body took that drastic change, she had no other choice but to own up to it, because what other reason was she finna give as to why she was looking that way? Because people was gonna throw that as the reason out there anyway. So she might as well get in front of it and put it out herself, because soon as people seen that's what she was looking like, that's the first thing people start thinking when somebody get really skinny. They thinking
Mm.
they got AIDS or they got cancer or something, but basically they thinking this person is on their way out.
Wow. Now, had
Yeah.
you heard about her before that happened? Did you
Nope,
know her
never
name?
heard
Because
of
I
her,
never
never
heard of her.
seen her. Nope, never had.
Okay,
She had
me
a
either.
lot of followers, like over between her all her socials. She had over 1 million followers, but like you, I'm probably more grounded in the internet a little more than you, more so just because of what I do with the internet. But I'm not a heavy person on the internet like that. Like, this is like a job to me. So I have to kind of be out here like this on this level to be really deep diving and stuff. But in my normal life, is not like that. I don't be like on the internet and keeping up with a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
It's just, with me being YouTuber, I decided to go down the path of entertainment. Like during the pandemic, I switched gears. I'm like, okay, I'll go down the path of entertainment. So now it has me more vested in, okay, what's going on in the world of entertainment. But it's
Mhm.
not like the only thing that I like to focus on. That's why even when I talk about entertainment, I'll find a way to try to bring in just things dealing with just relationship things and just real life practical type things, to kind of,
Mhm.
because a lot of the foolery and the dysfunction that's going on out here in these streets is just the disconnect that people have with with the understanding between men and women and what the wants and the needs are. It's a complete disconnect. It's like the right hand not understanding what the left hand is. Like everybody's fighting, like the girls are fighting, like everybody's fighting. And it's just like nobody's listening to one another. Everybody just fighting. So it's like on here, it's just like, okay, my platform is like, I want to have conversations about things and not just be about fighting and men against women and all of that. That's just not what
I can't do that.
No, I'm about having a dialogue. When you were like, they got Irv mixed up, sis, drop the link. I'm here for that because I like to hear different perspectives, because it'll have me to start thinking differently. And then maybe I can hit you with something and you be like, you know what, that's a good point. That's the beauty of having dialogue.
Right. Some of these people on online, especially because I'm on YouTube a lot. Yeah. This is my, I don't have cable anymore. This is my one of my main sources. Of course, we have like Netflix and stuff like that. Right. But anyway, I don't get into the man versus woman stuff. I don't get into the dating advice and all of that. I'm just not. It's totally different for me. But I know that a lot of that brings views for people and stuff. I stay away from it. I think it's ignorant, and I think that a lot of people are so easily influenced. They need to probably just stay away from that type of shit, because it will influence them.
Right. Because when I first started my channel some years back, like that was more so the direction of that I went with it. And then during the pandemic, I switched it, and I used to do like pre-records. So then I was like, okay, I then did cover it. I can't even remember. I have so many videos. I can't even remember who I covered first, but it was something dealing with celebrity, and I started doing live. So I'm like, okay, I like the live because I don't have to deal with editing or whatever. I can just jump on and just talk my talk. And then if people, interact. So I like it, but I find that relationship sector is so toxic, and everybody's just fighting. And here's the thing, here's the gag. These people who are fighting, these people are single as a dollar bill. They don't even have nobody.
Right.
So, sis,
that's what I'm saying. Stay away.
It's not even like most of the people who are out here talking about relationship stuff ain't even got a relationship.
Right. So who are you? Not only that, but it's smart. Like, I'm not going to ask someone that don't know me and I don't know them and how they move for relationship advice. I'm not going to do that. You could be a drug addict. You could be a fucking serial killer. You could be a pervert. There could be something wrong with you mentally. I don't know. And I'm sitting up here coming to you for relationship advice. No, ma'am. No, sir. It's not going to happen.
And
but
so
what I was going to
go ahead.
What I was going to say was that it's refreshing to find you. I had just typed in Irv Gotti or whatever, and your channel came up, and I typed, you can filter it to like live and stuff like that, because I wanted to have a conversation. So it felt good to find someone that was not like, oh, my opinion is right, because I'm going to tell you, a lot of YouTubers are crazy as fuck. I'm just saying, not the viewers, but a lot of the content creators are crazy as shit, girl. And it's like they get these egos, honey, and they only want people to agree with them. No, we're grown. I'm not going to agree with everything you say. And just because I disagree with you does not mean that I'm trolling. Right. You know what I'm saying? I just disagree.
I see that out there a lot. And because like you, I be out there a lot. That's how on my platform, it impacts how I move, because I see those things that I don't like. And to me, on a lot of the other platforms, it's a lot of arguing on who's right or who's wrong. And like you said, the bigger ones that got a lot of following, it's like if you don't rock with how they move or their opinion, they'll let it be known. They like, and I don't ever do that. Like, people will come up all the time, like, and I think that's one thing why they like coming up, because it's an environment to where I welcome other perspectives.
I saw that. That's why I came in with an opposing, just to see.
Yes, because somebody will come up and we'll talk about it. Like I did one with recently with what was that, Zendaya and Keke Palmer.
Oh, I
Kiki.
like Kiki and Zendaya.
Yeah,
I
so I did.
have
So I covered them when people was recently. Remember, or did you see that where they were kind of pinning them against each other after Kiki's movie came out?
no, I didn't see it. What?
Girl, yes, people started
Girl.
saying, Listen, listen." So it was a
Mhm.
lady. I had my little opinion, and she came up in and disagreed. So I dropped, and she came up. Girl, we had a good old conversation, so we can hear each other views or whatever. But Kiki dropped her movie called I forgot, girl. It's something. It's just one name in the. Is it not or something? Some random weird name. But she dropped the movie a couple of weeks ago. With Jason Peel, whatever his Peel is, that guy. I think he directed it. But it came out, and then somebody tweeted or put out there that they felt like Kiki was underrated, and why Zendaya gets so much. Like they basically just took the moment about Kiki and then threw out Zendaya's name, and it just kind of like opened this dialogue of almost like who better, who's deserving of more. So it created this whole thing. Is colorism a thing? Like it was just this big deal. So I did a video on that talking about and pointing out and just kind of lining up both of the ladies' careers. And really based on my research, what I showed, you can really see that Zendaya career her money is way longer than Kiki's. Like she's skyrocketed over Kiki. Even though Kiki has a really good visibility, when you line them up and put their resumes side by side, Kiki's money do not look like Zendaya's money. So the question is why? That's the question. Why is that?
Right. That's right.
Why is that? So Kiki came out and she didn't want to play the victim. So she came out like as though she was unbothered or whatever. So some people kind of looked at it. Some people, I don't know, people were kind of cut down, they were down the middle on like how they felt about, I guess, with Kiki and her response or whatever. I personally felt like Kiki didn't want to come off as being a victim, so she wanted to try to keep things more in a positive light. But low key, Kiki knows the industry and knows that she gets shaded on things and that she don't necessarily get opportunities that maybe someone of a more fair skin get. She know the
So
deal.
what happened when the lady called in to you? What was the
She was
situation?
just like, oh, girl, she was team Zendaya all the way. She was like, she was a, black woman, heavily melanated woman. And she was just like, yo, because it was me and it was another guy, sub that I have. He's out in LA, so he's close to you, Reg Rose. So Reg and I, we were having a dialogue up here like you and I were. So the lady, I can't even remember her name, because me and him were kind of on the same page, is where we felt like colorism had played a part in Kiki's
Of
career.
course. Of
Yes,
course.
so that's now we weren't shading, we were still giving Zendaya, like Zendaya is still California, that's the Bay Area. She Oakland, I'm from the Northern California, so she from the hometown. So
And represent.
so I wasn't shading her at all. But my thing is that whether I say two things can be right at the same time. So
That's right.
I felt like colorism was in play in the situation. However, I also feel like the works and the things that Zendaya has done, she's rightfully earned also. But I'm not going to ignore that Zendaya has probably gotten better opportunities presented to
Absolutely.
her than
Absolutely.
Kiki. So it's not always too even about the quantities, it's about the quality. And when I
That's
did
right.
my video, I showed the difference. So our dialogue was about the quality. So this lady was just like, oh, Zendaya, she do be helping. She be looking out. She did a fashion show. I guess so this woman hipped us to the game. We didn't know Zendaya had did a fashion show with Tommy Hilfiger. And she insisted that she get black models casted because she wanted like a disc girl. She wanted a disco theme for the doggone runway with they wearing afros and on roller skates.
Okay.
So the guy from Tommy Hilfiger, he went ahead and let it go down like that.
Okay.
He let it go down like that, So the lady was just showing that Zendaya, even though she's biracial, she's like, yo, Zendaya has acknowledged.
Girl, see, that's the thing. She don't. That could be a story that her people put out. That I don't believe nothing that they be saying about these
I
motherfuckers. They
saw the
don't have
article
control.
now. I did see the article
No, but
now.
that's what I'm. It don't matter. They
Okay.
listen. They put out. Come on, girl. You from Oaktown? Listen. You know that they. You know it's called a Hollywood story for a reason. They put all types of twists and spins to their shit. We're gonna have to do because I'm gonna start because I moderate for really, really big channels and I know some really big YouTubers. I'm talking about with millions of subscribers, okay?
Okay.
And people have been asking me for a long time to start a YouTube channel, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do it just on some hobby. I'm not gonna be doing this every single day, but just to
Right.
drop some jewels every now and again, like some real stuff, because this idol worshiping of these people have to stop. People need to, it's people are too old to be doing this, like too grown to be doing this. Listen, they call it an Hollywood story for a reason. They put all types of twists, turns, dips, and doodles, honey, in
Mm-hmm.
these stories. And it don't be real. These people have entire handlers. They can't even, sometimes they can't even choose what they eat for dinner and lunch,
Well, and I
let
agree.
alone
Like
what
I
they doing.
believe. Yep, I
Here's an
believe all
example.
that.
Let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
There's a YouTube channel, and I could tell you, I'm not gonna be, I don't know, because some people don't like people being promoted on their shit, so I'm not gonna say the name. I could like try to put it in behind us off, what is it called, backstage or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
there's a YouTube channel that this girl is not even popping like she should be because she has Steve Harvey's wife on her channel years ago, his ex-wife that he did dirty. His ex-wife came out and said, this man was, we were never sleeping in a car. We were never taking baths inside of a what did he say? A gas station
Right.
or
Yeah. To
begging
get
people
ready
for
for a
money.
show and stuff.
Right, and stuff like that. She said that is a total lie. She said we always had a nice home for us and our child. She
Mm-hmm.
said he even came from a well-to-do family. She said that's just something that they put together to make him more appealing to the people. Well, guess what? That is common. That's what they all do. They all lie about their background to they give these if you notice,
The
they
struggle.
all have struggle
Mm-hmm.
stories. That's to make them more appealing, and it's to influence other people to say, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. And then they come out here and end up being broke and homeless. Okay.
Right.
That's a Hollywood story. That stuff don't be real. So therefore, knowing all of that, I don't believe these stories. Oh, Zendaya wanted girls with afros. No, that's some publicity. That's some PR stunt type shit.
Hmm.
I'm not saying that the girl is not, because I like her acting. I like Kiki as well. Both of them have starred in things that I watched. I said, oh, they're pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both good actresses. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I like Kiki a little bit more, but I think Zendaya is cool as well as the actress, you know?
Right.
But my point is that they put out stories um to appeal to certain audiences, and they probably knew that there was gonna be some backlash surrounding this whole Kiki thing, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. I don't know. So they just threw that out there like, yeah, she wanted black women with their natural. Like, come on, y'all got to stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe, like Herb said. Like, stop it. That's a PR stunt. If I ain't never heard one before, Zendaya ain't got no control over her image like that. Neither do Kiki. Neither one of them do. They have a whole list of handlers.
Yeah.
Okay, they have a whole crew of people that tell them what to dress, how to talk, what to eat, how to wear their hair, how to wear their makeup, how to, you know what I mean? That's
Right.
just what it is. I don't know why people don't know this. Like, there's been too many people that have come out and said that it's all an illusion. Everything about these people is an illusion. But as far as the colorism, yeah, it's a lot of coon chips activated. You have to first of all understand that, the industry is run by white men. So
Right.
they want
Mm-hmm.
that Eurocentric type look. I mean, they casted that girl, I forget her name, to play Nina Simone instead of casting a black woman. They, what's her name?
Zoe,
You
that
know
Zoe
who I'm talking about.
Saldana? Was that Zoe
Yeah,
Saldana?
yeah. Like,
Mhm.
what type of slap in the face is that?
Yeah.
But that's what they do. But unfortunately, that same type of Eurocentrism is also happening. You see it oozing into everyday life and regular people as well. I personally did not grow up with that type of vibe. I didn't, and we have all shades. My family is very attractive anyway. Okay. I think most
Mhm.
people think they family look good, but my family really is fine. We all look good. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so,
Mhm.
so I did not grow up with this whole colorism thing. Like it was either you cute or you're not. Okay. It
Yeah,
don't
I
matter what,
didn't either.
you
I didn't.
know?
So yeah, that's my story too. Like we all pretty much, it's a attractive family. It's just like, people be like, hell, I just want to be a part of the family. It was one of those kind
Okay.
of situation.
Yeah.
So, so I didn't know that colorism really was like that. My husband, when meeting him, and he's fair skinned, and he tells the story of him and his sister and
But it is real. It
yeah,
is real
living
because
in
I've heard some
Oakland
stories.
and going to
I've heard,
the
yeah,
neighborhoods, and so
but
he's
it's some
also
fine
older
women.
than me too, so I don't know if it was just the era, being in California, like colorism just wasn't something that was just I
Right.
ever just had any memory of just witnessing, like like I don't know, it wasn't some talked about. I had no memory like of being treated differently or seeing someone treated differently because of their color. Like it never came, it didn't come up, so I don't know if it makes a difference too, where geographically kind of where you lived, where certain area, I wasn't raised in the South. I came to the South at 14. But prior to, I was just in California. So, and even when I came at 14, I'm brown skinned. So I tell the story of, because I'm in the middle, like I would be somebody back when, I learned here in the South the whole paper bag test. So I kind of always felt kind of in the
Mm.
middle. So color, just, I didn't have to have conversations with people about my skin tone. But
Right.
but I learned that, somebody told me, okay, you passed brown paper bag test. What is that, sir? And he actually, and he explained to me, what that was. So that was my first time, hearing that. I was like, I was 30 years old when I heard that for the first time. So I'm like, oh, okay. So okay. So that's, it's a whole thing, colorism is a real thing. So on that video, the lady, she more so just she also talked about Zendaya when she was on that television show, and one of the characters' names that they were going to name one of the girls, like she fought against it and she wanted it to be named something else. I don't know. She was just throwing out things that she felt like Zendaya has done as far as with helping and dealing with her black side, not just being about, okay, seizing opportunities because she's biracial. There's been things that she's advocated for. So that was this lady's perspective or whatever. So when she talked about the fashion show, I went out there and I did see the fashion show and everything. But like I said, when I compare Kiki's resume to Zendaya's resume, Kiki had, at least I think it was about a 7-year head start before Zendaya got into the industry, and Zendaya's money is like way longer than Kiki's.
Listen, Kiki is extremely talented and
Yeah.
she has a likable personality as well. I remember she was on is she still doing the talk show with
No,
Strahan and that
no,
girl?
girl,
No.
girl, that got canceled. That probably ended maybe in 2020, probably possibly before the pandemic. That went out the one. It didn't last that long.
She was she had a very likable personality. And I remember she did a talk show, I think on BET some years ago
She's trying to come
with
back to
Judge
music.
Mathis.
Yeah, she's trying to. I saw like this year, maybe earlier this year, a music video that she had put out. So I felt like she was trying to try her hand, because it seemed like every so often she'll try to, do her little music. And then I guess that just people, I guess, aren't receptive to her like that. I guess when it comes to being a music artist, even though she can sing and dance, it's just, I think people are,
I like both of them. I
yeah,
really do, but I
yeah.
do take to Kiki a little bit more. I
Yeah,
remember
I grew
Akilah
up
and the
with her.
Bee.
Yeah,
Yeah, right,
that's what
exactly.
people were
Exactly.
saying. Yeah, on that, on the live, like Akila and the Bee, like I didn't really learn like Zendaya is something that's kind of, she came about after I was a grown ass woman. Like I was too old to be sitting watching Zendaya,
Right.
by the time
That's
she,
right.
it's just like, so I missed that boat. So now the most I've gotten into her was just seeing the Spider-Man movies. I'll watch that with the kids or whatever. But other than that, I wasn't familiar with her work. And then I learned that she was from Oakland and all of that. So I'm like, okay. So, but Kiki, I've been, she kind of, I've been following her since she was her first movie. Like I can say, like I watched her grow up. So I'm more centered or connected with her. But I do recognize, Zendaya and what she's done, and I don't take anything away from anything that she's done, or I don't even look for her to do anything in particular for Black people. Like I don't. My thing is like, she's out there working just like the next person.
I
So
mean, so like my thing is their job is to entertain. Like they're not here to be political activists. You know what
yes.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to entertain. Sing to me, act, show me
Right.
fucking what you can do in a
Right.
you know what I mean, in a movie. Like I don't care about. See, that's what I'm saying. People be getting too deep into it. Like,
Well, I
okay,
think
it is
it's
what it
all,
is.
yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. Like, when you talk about like it's an illusion. And that's what I think, just even with the regular everyday, like the thing I hate so much when I hear someone talk about this whole thing, couple goals. You never know. It's an illusion,
That's
as
right.
far as when you see these celebrities and when they linked up, like that's not real life. And I think that a lot of, people today, they're thinking that what's on the internet is like real as far as what's going down in people's lives, and they're trying to imitate and emulate it. Okay, I want to be like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, when those people
Mhm.
aren't really even really what they're like with what they present to you, because
Right.
as you just broke down, you know handlers, PR people, like it's a facade. And so that's why a lot of times on my channel I'll try to talk about things from an experience perspective when it comes to like the relationship aspect stuff, because I know a lot of people, they don't know anybody like personally or anything like that who's got solid foundation, solid relationships. They're just living vicariously through these celebrities because they came from broken homes. They,
Oh,
they
okay.
probably
That's a
didn't.
good point.
Yes, they came from broken homes, so you never seen what an actual real relationship look like, or a healthy one look like. So guess what you're seeing? You're seeing
Mm,
Cardi B's and Offsets. You're
mm.
seeing these celebrities relationships, and you're thinking that that's what it's supposed to be like. And guess what? Those relationships look nothing like my real life relationship. So
Okay.
that's how I know it's a facade. And it's just like, if y'all only knew, and until people realize that, I think they're gonna still continue to be searching for something that don't exist.
Yeah,
It
because
just
those people are
don't exist.
showing their best life.
Yeah.
When they
They're
get
not showing
online,
their reality, their day to day.
that's right. They're showing their best life
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
They might have just got into a fight the night
Yep.
before. You don't
Yep.
know. They
Nope.
said, "Well, let's
They
do this
just
photo
told it,
shoot real quick."
told a picture.
Because
Yeah.
it's all about image.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, you better talk that girl.
They
Yes.
they don't get it. And I think the ones who are big, who are really impacted and affected by that illusion is our millennials, the younger people,
Mm.
because they're so busy. So the ones in their 20s, they're so busy living their life through the gram that they don't have a clue. And by the time they come to realize it, they're going to be now in their 30s amongst many other women who are still looking for something, because they are just now at a point where they're mature enough to realize, like, wow, that wasn't real.
You know what? I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that.
Okay.
Um, from my experience and the demographics of people I'm around, just based on what I do for my career, the millennials don't give a fuck about uh, the singers, the rappers, the actors. They almost like understand better than we did at their age.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, well, actually, what age do you consider? Let me stop first.
Okay.
First, I need to understand what age do you consider to be a millennial? Because some people use it out of context or whatever. So what's a millennial to you? What age range? I'm about to look it up too.
To me, it's gonna be like your you know, 18 or like in the early 20s through maybe early 30s, 35, because I think I'm a Gen Xer, because I'm,
Oh no,
80.
okay, you're right. So it says millennial is 26 to 41. So I'm a millennial.
See, I be
Okay.
seeing adults. See, that be moving for me because I don't consider myself no doggone. What's the millennial stop at? 41?
26 to 41. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I was thinking younger than that.
Yes,
Okay.
I think, see, I think it be changing depending on when you look, because I recently was looking into it and it had me as like a Gen Xer because I'm born in 80.
Okay,
And
what age is Gen X? Come on. So Gen X is 65 to 80. So you are Gen X by a year.
yeah, so yeah,
Okay,
that
so I'm not even okay, so okay, so I was actually about to disagree with you, but I can't because I was thinking that millennial was a little bit younger than 26 to 41.
mm-hmm.
But damn, that's absolutely correct. I'm actually shocked because I don't know why. Like you said, it must have been moving around or something because something ain't right. But
Yeah,
anyway, I'm gonna go with that. Um, okay, so I'm gonna have to agree with you then because I don't know though, because I feel like the people younger than 26, what generation is before the age of 26?
the
Let me see.
26, those are is that Gen Z? I think
What
they
is
might be Gen Z.
it says the current come on, United States. Xer, boomer. No, it's not boomers, it's not Xers.
Is it Z maybe? What's Gen Z?
Oh, it's called Generation Alpha. Oh,
Alpha. Okay, so that's like my niece. What age range? Which age is that?
it says, well, I guess it's what is 0 to 26 then, right?
Yeah, I guess,
Right?
yeah, because like I
That's
have
at
like, so like,
25.
yeah, because I have like a niece. She's 19, so like she's the oldest grandchild, from like my sister.
Oh no,
Mhm.
no, we're wrong. Okay, so here it is.
Okay.
So the Gen X is 61 to 79. That's what it says here, Gen X.
Okay.
So you're right. It does move because it just said
Yeah.
1980. Now it's saying
Right.
79.
See,
But
that
anyway,
80 be fluctuating on different days of the
yeah,
week.
dude. Now look, it says that the X is 61 to 79, and the millennials are 80 to 1995, and then the centennials, that's who I'm talking about. The centennials, 96 to 2010. Okay, now those
2010. Okay.
centennials,
That's
the
the centennial.
centennials,
Okay.
that's age 12 to 26. Okay, now the centennials don't give a fuck about what these entertainers got going for real. They
Well,
really
yeah,
don't.
I can see that because my kids are in that age, and no, they don't care at all.
At all. Mine too. Yes, they do not
They don't
care.
care at all. They move
So
to their
that's a good
own
thing.
drum. They were just as independent.
Yes, they don't give a fuck, girl. They
Yeah,
just
they
want to
did.
dress
They
and
real. They
eat, and
different.
they're different. But it's a good different though. I give them
Yes,
a
it
thumbs
is
up.
a good different. It's more, it's not a follower type different.
Right.
They're
Come on,
more
girl.
like, they're very like entrepreneur, like their mindset. It's
Yes,
just on a
girl.
whole nother, and I never really separated like that till you just said something, because when I think of like with my kids and then like my niece, she's 19, and then she's on that living off of the living vicariously through whatever they doing out there in the entertainment. But then my kid, no, they not even on that tip. So
Right.
yeah, it makes a
So
difference.
this,
Like I just feel like that, I guess that mid, I don't know if that's still the millennials what I had in mind.
yes,
I think
yeah.
I think there's the ones who are still the ones who's giving all that clout to the Cardi B's, Megan Thee Stallion, City
Yes,
Girls,
you're
and
right. You're right.
they're
You're
being
right.
led. They're lit. It's false. It's a false narrative. Like it's like it's like ladies, wake up. That's not real. but they don't want to believe that. That's also the group of people that are looking alike.
You're
They're
at girl. Listen, you better talk it, girl. Yes, you
they're
are so right.
that's the group that's looking alike. It's like a it's I was ever you ever listen to the YouTuber Mr. Let Go? He's you pro
No.
he talks about relationship stuff more so, but he just broke some down where it was an interview with light skinned Keisha. You know who she is? The rapper.
Mm-mm.
So she's a rapper here. I think she's based out of Atlanta anyway. But she was on a podcast with these other two ladies doing an interview with them, and he was pointing out that the two ladies whose show it was, how the hell they looked alike, how they talked alike, how they wore their hair alike, how they set up the girl. It was crazy.
Mm.
And that's what made me start thinking about how they look like, how they it's like a like they have this uniform on. And he just
Mm.
pointed out where how they just all look the same. So he was using those two as an example, but he was saying, think about the other girls out there, the other ladies, they all look alike. And he was so right. Even down
Mm.
to tattoos that they wear, the tattoos on their
Wow.
body. He was like, they're
Mm.
like, it's like they think alike. He compared them to like almost like you're herd, like a herd of animals where they're all looking exactly alike, got the same stamps, tattoos on them. Everything's the same. And
But you know what though? There's Gen Xers, and I know this for a fact because I got some relatives like this. There's Gen Xers that fall into that too, though.
yes,
They're
I can see
falling
that.
into
Mhm.
that copycat.
Yeah.
They be like 50 years old, still trying to be
Yep.
like, looking dressed like
Mhm.
they 30 and you know what I mean,
Yep.
20 or 40. Like
And then a lot
we
of those, and think about the ones who are doing that. What's their relationship status?
they're either unhappily married or single.
Yeah.
Unhappily
Yep.
single. Because some
Yep.
people, because I'm actually happily single. Like
Single. Yes.
when you're coming out of a bad relationship, okay, and I got trust issues, okay.
Yeah.
So I actually
Yeah, like
I
I listen, I got
actually
a whole mama who I hear her testimony at least once a week about how she's so happy
okay,
to be single. So
okay.
I know that is a real thing out there, but
Yes, it is.
but that's a real thing out there. But more women, let's just say if we're looking at the Gen Xers, more women in that group are desiring to be in a relationship or to be married. They're
Okay.
they're
Mhm.
they're desiring that. But here's the thing with these millennials that I was talking to, they're not talking about, they not interested in that. They're trying to have a hot girl summer. They're not interested in trying to get serious, trying to settle down. They're perfectly fine with being a baby mama because they're like, listen, I'm too young. Like their mindset is like, oh, I'll do all that in my 30s after basically I didn't been ran through. That's their
Ooh,
mindset. That's the mindset. And it's coming, I blame social media. It's coming from the music,
yeah.
the entertainers. That's the message that's been put out there is that get your money, do you run through them, and then you got
Mhm.
your life later. But guess what? When that later comes, now you're getting into that Gen X, the Gen X or the next generation, and now they're going to be mixed in, with some of those women who are all trying to look for the same thing, when the
Mm.
younger ones, they were too busy having a good time living it up, not
Okay.
prioritizing family and
Right.
things like that and
What
settling
about the Gen
down.
X? Right, but what about the Gen X males though? What about them?
The Gen X males are checking for the young girls.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the Gen X. So this is what happened. The man typically wants, and I can speak to this just from my own situation. My husband's 11 years older than me. I got married at
Okay.
23. So
Ooh, that's too young, but go ahead.
I was 23 when I got married, and he was about to be like 31. The normal time they say where a man is typically ready and have the mindset to be like, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and try this marriage thing is around 31. That's the norm of when they'll start to think about, okay, Now I'm ready because they done whatever in their 20s and they're good. Oftentimes, a man is checking for a younger woman. If he can have the option to be with someone younger, that is what he is going to do. That's why a lot of times with the older woman and stuff, like, like say you using Wendy Williams and Kevin, when they separated, even though let's just say they were the same age, an older man has typically better success in the dating world than an older woman.
No, that's changing. That's changing.
I
That's
believe,
changing.
and the reason why I say that, just as in a collective,
That was the case at one point, but that's definitely changing now. You have younger males wanting an older woman now. Absolutely.
well, I
These
think that
things are
yes,
not,
but
this
yeah,
is
I get that, but
nothing is traditional anymore.
yeah,
Things are
I get
totally
that.
changing.
I get that, but when you look at those, to me, when I follow relationships, when I see relationships, say just looking at celebrities, and there's an older woman and the younger man, to me, what I've noticed is that those relationships don't last as long as the older man with the younger woman.
You know why? You know why? Because the older woman is probably too damn controlling or something
Well,
and
regardless of the
emotionally
why,
moved.
I'm just saying it don't show that it works. Regardless of our why, it doesn't show that it works. And the reason why I feel like
See, you know,
the man works as far as with being the older one versus the woman is because typically what it shows, a man will reach his financial peak usually around like 55. So what a
uh-huh,
man is supposed to bring to the table in a relationship, they're the resources, the finances. The
uh-huh,
woman, your beauty is your currency. So with the woman,
uh-huh.
it's about her looks.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. These older women are fucking giving. They are looking good. They are not aging like they used to. Look at Ashanti, for example. This girl is
But
in her
Ashanti
40s.
ain't got no. But I can.
Tim,
She's
it
not
doesn't
married.
matter. It
She's
doesn't.
not.
It doesn't matter. Okay,
She's
who's
not
married? Okay,
married.
it doesn't matter. The point is, okay. So what you're
Yeah,
saying?
I
Women
mean, to
that get
me,
mad? Wait, 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 wait,
okay,
wait, wait. No, because we're adults here, so we can agree to disagree. But let me
okay,
get my point out. Right.
okay.
What I'm saying is, I'm using her as an example because you still got the girl on the damn screen. Okay.
Yes, go
And
ahead. Yeah. Okay.
the like back in the like when I was a teenager, thinking of a 40-year-old, I wouldn't even think of nobody like, with
Like that,
still a
right?
flat tummy and all that. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, that's normal as fuck to see women in their 40s and 50s, older women, 40s and 50s. Girl, I've seen women in their 60s looking like they in their. You be like, bitch, what? I met this woman the other day that told me she was 59. She had not a wrinkle on, and no, I'm talking about a regular everyday woman. She didn't have on no makeup. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail. I thought the lady was probably the latest, like 48, 49. This lady, we were just talking, 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 and she was like, girl, I'm 59 years old. They playing around with me. I said, hold up, ma'am. Look, ma'am, wait a minute. I had to do the Judge Mathis. Ma'am, you are 59? She said, yes, I am, sweetheart. And she knew, she said, you about my daughter age and all this stuff. I was just blown away at how good she looked. Women and men, period. Well, men will let themselves go, but women and some men are not aging like they used to. Now, some women get married and they let their stuff go. They start
Mm-hmm.
eating, they start drinking and or
Mm-hmm.
smoking, or whatever, and they not exercising because they got their man, so they feel like there's no reason. But these single women are keeping themselves up, okay? And there's some married women as well that are still keeping themselves up because I know I do. I'm not older though. I'm still relatively young, but
Mm-hmm.
40 and 50 is still young to me too.
Yeah.
I don't think like everybody else. Old is like probably like 80 to me. I'm just saying that's to me. Okay. Or like 75 and up or something like that. But
Yeah.
there's people in, like I said, the 40s, 50s, and 60s they're not aging like they used to. And I'm talking about without cosmetic surgery. I'm talking about naturally beautiful women that are just taking care of themselves, where they drinking their water, they watching what they eat, and they trying to minimize their stress, they're getting their sleep, you know? No, it's
So,
just yeah.
so we're looking at it from two different angles. So you're looking at it from just beauty. Yes, I'm not going to argue that. I'm
Okay.
looking at it from the standpoint of marriage. You can be
Okay.
as fine as you want to be. Are you marriage material? Or did you get married? Is somebody trying to wife you up? That's what I'm looking at. I don't care about, like you said all that. I see a lot of Vivica Fox beautiful. She ain't ever
She's
have she ever
fine.
yes, yeah. I like there's
Vivica is
Sanaa
fine.
Lathan, Nia Long. There's so
Ooh,
many of them.
Nia Long is fine.
So I'm not going off of looks. I'm going off of marriage. There 80% of our babies are born out of wedlock. Only 30% of Black people are
But
married.
sis, don't nobody think of marriage like that no more, girl. You got married too young, first of all.
See,
23 is not.
I think they are now. I think see
Oh, that's
what I
gas.
be
That's a
listening to.
gas.
It's a heavy topic right now where these women are wanting marriage right now, and they're
But
saying
see,
I can't find anybody.
okay, well, you know what? That's that. Listen, this is a discussion that honestly, I typically don't even have these type of discussions. I don't, because no offense, I typically don't care what other people are doing in their bedroom with their life. They get married, and oh, you know what I'm saying? I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? If it's not affecting me and mine, I really don't care. But I think that maybe those women probably, I don't know, they don't know how to choose them. They don't know how to pick them, because there's guys out here too that also want to get married and can't find their
I
mate. It's
agree.
not always the
That's
woman's fault. See,
no,
this is why
I
I don't get into
agree.
these type of conversations. I just don't.
That's why
Because
I feel
I
like
really
the
don't
right
care. I'm kind
conversations
of
aren't
selfish.
had.
If it ain't about me and mine, I really don't care like that.
Right.
I'm
Yes.
just saying.
Yes,
You know
I
what I mean?
agree that there are people out there, good men and women, but I'm here to tell you that it's a heavy conversation piece. You just don't engage because that's not your interest. It's an
Right.
interest of mine. So I listen to those boards. I just don't have the platform to just be heavily into it because I personally think that it's just a lost cause, to be honest. So
Because I could call somebody. Well, I can't. Look, I'm feeling like I'm on the phone, girl, instead of being on YouTube. I was gonna say I could call somebody on three-way, but
oh my God, that's
I
funny.
no, but I know plenty women that have been either they're divorced or they have been in long-term relationships, right? Like I'm
Mhm.
talking like 5+, 10+ years, and they are happily single and they still look good as shit. They looking good. They turning heads and
Right.
whatnot. They can have whatever type of man that they want because they have not only the beauty, but they have the brains and the other things that come along with the whole package, right?
Mhm.
So in my world, offline, there's a lot of women that don't give a fuck about getting married. It's not even a priority. They trying to get that money. They trying to get their money up. They
What
thinking about
age group are they
retirement.
in?
They thinking
What's their
about
age? What
they're
age group
like
is it?
they're like 30 and up. And up. I got a homegirl right now she's older than me. I would say she an auntie, but she might get offended. I don't know if she might hear this and recognize my voice. But
Oh my God.
she might recognize my voice. But I'm not even gonna say her age, but
Okay.
like her. But okay, we'll say she's close to 50. She don't give a fuck. Do you understand about getting married, girl? Because she done been there, done that.
Yeah, I mean,
She
I agree.
is
My mom is like that. My mom's almost she'll be 60
That's what
next
I'm
year.
saying. So
Like
so the
I
best way to word it, wait, listen, and I'm gonna be
Mhm.
quiet and let you talk because it's your channel and I'm taking over, girl. I ain't
Go
trying to, so
ahead.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So the best way, in my opinion, to word it is to say the people that you've encountered online. Because online is not the real world, and there's a lot of propaganda going on online. Where you have shields, they hire people to start shit. They hire black men to downgrade black women. They hire black women to downgrade black women, black men. There's a whole like gender war that they're trying to start. There's a lot of shield propaganda activity going on online. That's why certain matrices, I won't step in. Okay. I'm not taking the blue pill or the red. I'm not stepping in it. I don't want no part. And it sounds like you're a little bit in the matrix of it.
Well,
Because
I use the example of online, but I can also still speak for say this also in real life as well. I just use the example of online because that's the bigger
okay,
pool of people that I hear speaking. But in just
okay.
my in my world, I see it as well. So but I noticed that it makes a difference too, as far as with it's different because my mom more so err on the side of like the family member you talked about, like she been there, done that. So I think for some people who have at least experienced it, from what I've experiencing, they're more apt to be like, okay, been there, done that. I don't have to do that again. Versus there are a
Okay.
lot of women who's never experienced it before.
Sure.
And the ones that I see that are real, that's interested, that's wanting it, is the ones, and as far as in my world, my day to day, they never even had it before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's one thing if you've had it. Oh, I've been married before. I've been married twice. Like my mom has done it. Like married two people before. Like been there, done that. She's experienced it. But then there's this other group of people who never experienced it. So they're just seeing people.
They not missing out. And see, that's the thing. They're being influenced because they're online too much. And they're being influenced. We've been taught
What
by
these
these
other
fairy
people
tales.
aren't, like the ones that I'm using example, they're not people that be online too much. It's just it's just being around other people or family. So let's just say take my family, like my husband's family, like everybody's married. My side of the family, hell, I'm the only damn one married. You see? So
Mm,
if you're around, it depends on like your environment too, to where what are you used to seeing or being around. So if that's your
okay.
norm, that you're used to seeing people that are married, you're going to be more apt to feel like, oh, okay, well, this is the way it's supposed to be, versus like with my side of the family, nobody was hardly even married. So you didn't really see that. So I think it makes a difference to what you're exposed to.
Okay.
I think that
You
gets
know, you know what?
factored into.
I
Mhm.
agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. But okay, so this is my argument.
Okay.
Um, so how can I put this without talking too much? I think that we've been brainwashed to have a certain. I remember me and a homegirl having this conversation like 10 years ago, like a long, a long time ago. She was so ahead of the game with it too,
Mhm.
because I was like, what the hell is she talking about? But now I understand. We've been brainwashed at a young age with these fairy tales and these,
Mhm.
movies and cartoons and stuff, these
Yeah.
romances and stuff, right? We've
Mhm.
been taught what love is supposed, not love, because we love our friends and our family, but what romance is supposed to be, right? And
Right.
I think that we kind of like some people get lost in that. They get lost in the romanticism of it. They get lost in the fairy tale of it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yes.
Not
Mhm.
understanding that that may not be the reality. You
Right.
know,
Mhm.
some people are blessed enough to meet their soulmate right away, and some people may not. They may be older in age. Like there's women getting married at 60, 70
Yep.
years old.
Mhm.
It's not too
Yeah.
late. My favorite saying is, it's not too late to be great. It's not.
Mhm.
But some people don't find it until older, in life, versus, younger. So, um, I don't think it's that to me is not even an interesting. Well, I'm not gonna say that. That's kind of rude, but how can I put this? Because I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I'm very blunt, girl. Okay,
Yeah.
and I've been drinking,
Saying that
and
to a
I've been
very
drinking.
blunt person.
Look, and I've been drinking my wine, girl. Okay, so that
Yeah. Oh,
don't
you
help.
you feeling
But
good. Speak
yes,
your
I
piece,
am.
girl.
Okay, I
I
appreciate
understand.
you.
I mean, I understand what you're saying because, like, you veer on the side. Everything you're saying, that's like my mom's tone. So, like, I hear it. Like, I hear like she
But what I'm
could
saying
be,
is that marriage, right? Marriage is not important to everybody. Like
no, it's
even
not.
those
It's
that have
not.
never experienced it.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
may think they want it, but when they actually do get it, whenever it may be, they be like, damn, this what the fuck I've been waiting for? This what like what happened?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I don't think everything. I'm an advocate of it when you're wanting to create a family. Like I was just telling my daughter, she's 12, and I was just telling her the importance of if you're going to have children, with who you're choosing to do that with and things like that. And I just feel like somebody who just going through life, no kids would sure you talking about no, I ain't trying to get married, fine, do you? But I feel like when you're trying to bring children into the world, it's like I explained to her, like the yin with the yang. Like the mom is no more important than the dad. That child needs that energy from both. Because if only one was needed, we would be asexual and we can just make a kid by ourselves. So there's a reason why it takes the man and the woman to both come together to make that child. So I feel like when you're talking about like when you're trying to bring kids into this world, I just don't like to hear what, like these today's culture where a lot of the young girls are just super okay with just being a baby mom and not and it's not that important for them to be in a solid relationship or to be married, but they got a baby by the rapper. Like to me, that's just backwards. And
Well, let
I
me
think,
tell you why it's not.
Mhm.
Let me tell you why it's not.
Okay.
Because you can still get well, see, things are changing. Times are changing, right?
Mhm.
And you can still you can get married and have 10 kids with him. That does not mean that he's not going to cheat on you. That does not mean that the relationship may not end in divorce. Okay. Marriage is a piece of paper. Okay. I think society has put, I mean, depending on your religious background,
Mhm.
it's a holy matrimony as well. But it does not guarantee stability. It does not guarantee consistent. It does not guarantee loyalty and respect. It does not guarantee those things. So you can get married and have, like I said, a whole tribe of children, a whole community of children in your home or whatever. But that does not stop what's happening to happen. Okay. Period. So that's why some women, and then let's say your husband cheats on you and has an outside child or two or
Mhm.
three, right? Then now what? Are you going to stay just because you're married, or are you going to file for divorce? Now let's say you decide to file for a divorce.
Mhm.
Well, guess what? Now you have to go through the whole headache. That's money, that's court dates and time. Guess what? When you just have a baby out of wedlock, so to speak, you don't have to deal with that. Nigga, I'm getting my shit, I'm getting the fuck on, or you get your shit and get the fuck on. And it's as simple as that. And then you already signed the birth certificate, so I'm getting child support. That's that on that. Like, I think that people are still holding on to the old 1920s, 1930s type of mentality of the whole marriage and baby thing. We're not living in those times anymore. It's not like that anymore. And that piece of paper causes a lot of stress and strife for people. It does. Because if you just want to get married just to say, I was married with my husband when we had a baby, we were married, that means nothing. He can still step out on you and have another baby. He can still have a whole double life while you're at home thinking that everything is all peaches and cream, and he's out picking down Mary Jane down the street and then gave her 3 kids and you don't even know nothing about it. And he might just decide to leave you to go with her. Or you could be, you know, in a relationship with Tom and Dick and Harry down the street and had, relations with him, and you're contemplating on leaving your husband because you're just not feeling him no more and you
Mhm.
want to be with him. So now you're thinking about ending the relationship. You know what I'm saying? And having a baby with this nigga. Like, that marriage does not guarantee a solid relationship. Now, lucky for me, when I was in mine, I didn't have to deal with infidelities and shit like that. I didn't have to deal with that, and I'm so glad because I'm crazy as hell, and I would have fucked somebody up. Somebody would have got fucked up, okay? But I,
Hell
I didn't
no.
have to deal with that. But let me tell you what I did deal with. I dealt with what the fuck? I don't want to be with him no more. I don't even like to even have sex with him no more. I don't even want this motherfucker in the bed with me no more. Because I don't like to be controlled. And he was very controlling. Like he wanted me to do what he said or else type shit. And it was just like it got to the point like what the fuck? Like, damn. And I was just thinking of ways to get the fuck out of there, and I did. But that piece of paper adds more stress. If there was no paper there, it would have been easier, smoother transition, man. For real, for real. So people gotta let go of that. It's 22. This ain't 1920 no more. These are different times. I'm just saying. I want to get married because I don't want to have a kid. Girl, you can still have it. Listen, just because you married don't mean that don't guarantee that y'all gonna stay together. You want to be like how our great grandmothers was, getting cheated on and disrespected, or you was unhappily married and shit, putting yourself to an early grave because you want to hold on to this facade and this image of being married to somebody that you don't even love no more just because of the sake of being married. Girl, we not living in them times. We don't have to do. They did that, so we don't have to. Okay, that's my stance on it. That's just my opinion. Okay.
So, and I no, okay. So yeah, I don't ever advocate anybody standing some foolishness. I believe that a lot of times early on with a lot of women, there are a lot of signs that this person is not the one. Now, yes, when you're in a relationship, things can go left or whatever. But more often than not, from what I've seen early on, that person showed they wasn't the one. And we as women still proceed to still move on with it, have a child with the person, then say this and that, the third about the person, when this person was already demonstrating all of that before you even created a life with them. So yes, no, marriage and nothing is guaranteed. But from my standpoint of early on, if you have a mindset of, okay, I'm looking for marriage, you are going to more likely than not you're going to pay more attention to things. You're versus going into something all willy-nilly, like you're going to be like, okay, what's this person character like? Do this person be lying? No, nothing's guaranteed, but God damn it, I at least want to goddamn give it a try to see if I can try to choose the best option I can get. Versus me saying, well, I'm just gonna pick any one of them because all of them full of shit or anything can go left. I don't enter into something thinking that, well, there's a possibility it can go left anyway. That's not the approach that I have. The approach is, okay, let me look at the most ideal situation. Let me look at these characteristics. Let me see if this person is consistent. Let me see if this person know how to keep a job. Because, some people may have the mindset, well, they all dogs anyway, so it don't matter. No, okay. But I just find that a lot of people end up in effed up situations, and from out the gate, they knew it was effed up. But they still came up whatever reason they came up with to go along and play along. And then at the end of the day, he ain't this, he ain't that. Well, sis, you knew that the first day y'all went out when he damn took you to McDonald's. Like you already knew that what he was about. But you still continue to progress it. And now you still got these same concerns as though at some point he was supposed to change and become some Prince Charming. So to me, I would rather go in knowing at least hell I goddamn went in and he was looking like fucking Prince Charming when I first went in and he turned into something else versus me out the gate seeing his goddamn ass with something else. That's how
I heard that, and I agree with you on that. No, that's facts because I know somebody. That's facts because I know somebody right now. Oh, I hope she don't hear my voice. Oh, sorry, girl, if you do.
Girl, I'm a smaller YouTuber.
She ain't gonna hear it. Huh?
Go. I said I'm a smaller YouTuber. She ain't gonna hear you just yet. Go ahead.
So, girl, you never know, child. Shit. But listen, I'm gonna tell her today. She probably won't. But because I don't even think she'd be on YouTube like that. Okay. But I know somebody right now that ignored all this, and I think it's so ditzy. She ignored all the signs, girl,
Mhm.
all of them.
Yeah.
And she is unhappily married right now. She's not happy in her
Mhm.
relationship at like, I'm talking about misery on 10. Like sometimes she called me, she be sounding so down and out. I mean, like, wow,
And
this,
what's her
I'm not
reason
gonna
for
go
why
into
she
the
won't leave?
details.
What reason she
Um,
say why she won't leave?
that's what I'm trying to understand. Why she won't just go ahead and leave. Honestly, I think she's one of those women that I don't know if you've ever met, because I've only known a few to be like this. She's one of those women that just probably don't like her own company, and she has to have a man even if it's not happy. She's just afraid to be by herself.
Yeah, there's a
Even
lot
though
of
she
people
wouldn't
like
be
that.
But even though she wouldn't be by herself though, like they have a lot of children. So she has a nice size family as far as children and stuff is concerned. So she really wouldn't be by herself. But I think she's just the type of woman that has to have a male partner, even if it's not right. She just has to
Mhm.
have it. And she's always been like that long as I've been knowing her. So she feels stuck in this relationship, but she's really not stuck. She could file for divorce and go ahead and kick rocks with flip flops on as soon as she wants to. But she's choosing to just be miserable. And I think it's weird and sometimes it's annoying. And I don't even be wanting to hear the stories, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. Because I think it's kind of dumb to me. Like stupid. Like why just leave? What the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
Didn't
Right, just leave.
serve him serve the
Like
divorce
me,
papers.
like here's my thing. Even though like I'm married, I've been married for a long time, but when I see people's stuff is effed up like yours, I'm on the side of leave. Like I'm not my thing is like I don't believe anybody needs to be miserable. My thing is you
Right.
try to make it work. If it don't work, I'm in a marriage. It works. Sis, please believe this Scorpio energy. If this shit wasn't fucking working, the bitch be gone. Know that. Please know that about this girl right here. So I'm all about if your shit is effed up, cut your losses, get out. No, nobody need to be miserable. But what I'm saying
Mhm.
also is that what I see a lot of times with women, and this is just regular everyday life stuff in the family, internet, everywhere, the signs be there. But for
Oh
reasons
yeah,
that
the
we
signs are
talked
there
about,
for
the
sure.
sign more, I'm gonna say more often than not, the signs are there.
Oh
That's
yeah.
what I'm gonna
Oh
say.
yeah.
More
Yeah,
often
because
than not. Go ahead.
me and her had the conversation. We had the conversation and she told me like, damn, I knew. And even, before they actually tied the knot, I told her, why the fuck would you do that? Because she tied the knot when she didn't even like him. She didn't even like him. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I thought she was so slow. I thought it was like she has to have some type of mental, like a learning disability or something. Like, no shade to
Right.
nobody, but
Mhm.
I'm just saying it was just like something has to be mentally off for you to still make that decision, knowing that this is not somebody that you want to be with for the rest of your life. And then now here we are, fast forward however many years later, she's still not wanting to be with this person. It's really, really bad to the point where, like I said, I don't even really want to hear the
Yeah.
stories anymore because it's like, why are you still there? When I was unhappy, I got the fuck on. I got the
Yeah,
fuck
like
out of town.
my motto, I tell shit or get off the pot. I don't want to hear it. Do something like
Right.
so I I can speak that whole marriage thing, but I can also speak that in because like I said, my family, I don't come from that. This is what I'm doing. I told you what I got going on. That is not what the hell I seen. That is not what my family do. My family's all about like when the going get tough, you get the hell on. I had to learn what it was to really work through things from being in the marriage because I'm a mover and a shaker. If something ain't feeling good with me, I'm bouncing, because that was kind of what I saw, the example that I saw. So when you're married, you're spending more time because hell, it's a business. You got contracts in place, all that stuff you talked about. How it ain't easy getting out of a marriage. So I just think that you got a lot of people who, because I see it, in family, where people are married obviously miserable, but they still stay
So
together.
let me ask you, why do
Mhm.
you think not the older, because we know why, because they just talk to just stick it out. But
Yeah.
why do you think like the 45 and under are still doing that dumbass shit. Why do you think that?
As far as with still getting with people, even though the signs are there that the person is on
No,
some
no, no,
other
no.
stuff. What
No.
part? Okay.
Why would they still stay in a marriage where they're so fucking unhappy, where they don't even like to be fucking at home, girl?
Well,
Okay.
so I think okay, so one part is tradition. Tradition where it's a thing to where like my brother-in-law, so I'll use like my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, this quality of marriage, like what you talking about your friend, that's basically how their marriage is, like just misery. And he said years ago that she was just like, well, regardless of however I feel, we gonna be married forever because my grandparents were married. So that's her reason. So no matter how
Oh,
unhappy you see she's been and still is, and she's like, I'm not filing. It's tradition and then embarrassment. So like I said, on my husband's side family, like everybody's married. So so if you come from a family and you're seeing that take place and then suddenly yours is suddenly over, that's them, that insecurity that that person may feel or whatever about their situation of not being married anymore because marriage is a thing for the family. So I think it just depends too with that mindset as far as what do they come from? Do they come from a lineage along a line of people being married? They're trying to follow suit.
no. And that's the thing. So could it be just weakness and just,
Well, yeah, you got
somebody that's
weakness
not
in it.
really loving? Because to
Yeah,
me, that says that, neither one of them really love themselves because they both wallowing in misery and they have the
yeah,
chance,
it's weak.
they have the choice to change it.
It's driven. So my thing is it's the root is weakness. That's what I look at it when I see the example I
Hmm.
just told you with the family members. Like I see it as weakness. It's a weakness, but I
Yeah.
also see it as a weakness from it also stems too from what you saw growing up as far as did you see weakness? Meaning, okay, you're
Come on,
standing,
girl. Come
you're
through.
you're
Come
saying
through.
some effed up stuff where you raised in a situation
Come
where you
through.
seen mama. That's what I got
Come
going on with the
through.
example I'm giving you. I don't know how your girl
Girl,
example is because
I'm gonna start my channel and I'm gonna invite you as my first guest. Okay.
listen, because it's a general what they say, you are a product of your environment. That's why when I say I got my
That's
daughter,
right.
she's 12, I be talking to her. She's super
That's
smart and
right.
advanced. So I can have
That's
real
right.
conversations with her because
That's
a
right.
lot of these conversations as grown women, we can say nobody had those with us when we were younger. I was telling her my mom wasn't talking to me about the importance of what type of
Mm,
helpmate to choose, doing this or that. All she taught me was how to be a hard worker, how to not depend on a man.
mm,
That was the message I
mhm.
got. My mama didn't
See,
talk to me. Mhm.
I was taught strength. I
Yeah,
was
that's what
taught
that's what
strength.
I was.
And
Yeah, to be strong. You don't need nobody. You don't need to depend on nobody.
let
You
me
get
tell you,
in
but
it.
let me tell you how that's like it might be too much for some people though, because I'm extremely opinionated. I'm not no follower. I'm very picky and particular on who I want to even give my time and energy to. I mean, in regards to friendships and relationships, like I'm like, somebody will probably say I'm extremely stuck up. I'm down to earth, but when it comes to the nitty gritty of it, there's a certain vibe with me. I'm a whole mood and zone for real. And sometimes it might be, some people might think it's extreme, like, damn, she don't really like nobody. She don't really, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
But
that's
I'm
how we are
okay.
in my family too. The only thing that say, remember I told you I got young, I got married young. The person,
Mhm.
the me today, I don't know what that'll look like with
Let me
young and
tell you
grown
something. Let me tell you
because
something,
I'm not
girl.
who I was when I was younger and got married.
Okay.
So I
I
got
would
married
rather
at a
be,
time with somebody goddamn do something because right now I'm different. I'm real
okay.
different.
I would rather be, you know, like, oh, she don't like nobody. I'd
Mhm.
rather be that girl than a motherfucker that's weak and
Yep.
just let motherfuckers run all over them and
Yep.
stay into some shit that's misery.
And
I'd
you
rather be that.
And I'm the same way. That's why even though I'm married, I don't advocate for somebody to stay into something that's effed up. And with that being said, because of what I come from, the strength, much of like what you talk about how you are, that's what I come from. So because
Mhm.
that's what I come from, I still have that in me that my husband still see that side of me to where he sees that, okay, I come from a family that stayed and married into the grave. That's not what my wife comes from. My wife can kind of
Okay.
take it or leave it. He knows that
Okay.
about me. He knows that
That's
I've just
right.
been able to learn how to do this marriage thing, but he knows that I very well can do something else as well
That's
because he
right.
looks at my family and see what I come from. I come from a
That's
lineage of my family is a bunch of women.
strong women.
It
Strong
wasn't
women.
many boys. I don't have many boy cousins. Got one brother. Like it's just a bunch of women. It wasn't, oh, I'm gonna go get my brother. No, it's we dealing with it. Me and my sisters deal like that. like it's just women. It's just strength.
Yeah.
That's what I come from. So because
Hmm.
he's seen that in me, he knows that, okay, I'm not dealing with a woman to where she just finna put up with some damn bullshit.
That's
That's
right.
not what you get. Anybody get from me when you talk to me. You gonna see this. She not that chick. She ain't
That's
her. You
right.
can't. So even though I've been married, I haven't been married and been put up with some bull because he knows that I can do something else easily as well. I choose to do the marriage and make it work, but I have the strength. I have the strength to go in a
To
different
leave if you have
direction.
to.
I
Yeah.
can do it. I can do both. I can do both.
So
And you
you're
know, yeah.
saying, so you're saying that the person that I told you about, because I was wondering where the fuck is that coming from with her. So yeah, that makes sense though. Now that I think about it, because I do know a little bit of her background based on what
Yes.
she told me, just based on what she told.
Yes.
People are going to tell you what they want you to know, right? You
Right.
know? So based on what she told me, yeah, that makes sense. When a person is coming from seeing somebody weak and
Yep.
vulnerable, they
Mhm.
might pick up that characteristic. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And that's a characteristic that she might have picked up. Wow.
Yeah. So I speak
Wow.
on it because the example I gave you within my family with the couple, that's how theirs was from, because this is my husband's sister. So I know like with their home life and, some things about that. So, and, my mother-in-law, she lives with me. So I see how her demeanor, I know her. So that's why I'm like, that's why the fuck she like that. Cause she got that from you, you know? So my mom, when you meet my mom, she's strength, warrior. So when you meet me, you meet my mom, it all makes sense. With my
Yeah.
sister-in-law, giving you the example about, and then my mother-in-law, when when you see the two, you say it makes sense. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you got to pay attention to where people come from. So that's an interest that I have educate like so part of my like from an educational standpoint, like I have the background like dealing with like mental health counseling, things like that, the brain, all that, psychology, all that. So I'm the type of person to where I'm not surface, I'm a root type person. Like, why is this person this way? So
I'm like that
that's
too. Yeah.
natural. That's just natural for me. Like I always say, my favorite subject is people. I like to try to really
Yeah.
dissect and figure out, identify the whys because it helped me to understand what's before me and like what I'm dealing with, why a person is behaving a certain way.
Yeah.
So that's just what I do naturally. And then eventually I just went and got educated on it. But it was already just a natural thing for me anyway. So that's what I got. So that could be very well what's going on with your friend because we become a product of our environment. Like I said, my daughter, she's 12. My daughter, anybody, she's just me, a spitting image. She got me beat. Strength all day long. So you become a product of your environment. So the day she gets older, she bring her friends home to meet their mama. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, we see where she get it from. You see, it doesn't stop. It's
Yeah.
genetics.
Yeah. That's right.
It's
Wow.
genetics. So you see a strong woman, you're going to see strong people behind her. So one day I asked my mom, I'm
Hmm.
like, what were our roots like? Because we're all strength. And she was like, oh, well, such and such was a college professor. Like, oh, okay, it makes
Hmm.
sense. You know what I'm saying? Like when you
Right.
see like how because that's real. Like that genetics, when that stuff like goes from
Oh yeah.
generation to generation, you see
Oh
these
yeah.
certain characteristics,
Hmm.
standing out. Like that's real. So
That's real.
that's why it's important to know someone's background. And even like in the dating. So if we take it a step further, and as you talk about, yeah, you said, yeah, a relationship and marriage can end, but God damn it, I want to fight and chance to know what the fuck I'm dealing with when I meet him. I know this shit
Okay.
might go left in 10 years, but motherfucker, I want to be able to say early on, I seen more signs that this shit was going to go right. That
Mm-hmm.
part. I want to be able to see, to be able to say, I checked off these certain things that made me feel that I had a fighting chance that it was going to go right. I don't want to go into some shit already, be like, well, I don't really care because the shit probably ain't gonna damn work any damn way. Hell no. Because it's guaranteed not gonna work if you're already going into it with that mindset. So you,
Oh, now see, yeah, now that's deep right there because I've went into relationships and then after well, I went into one relationship with that mindset, and then after I said, "Damn, that's why it didn't work because I wasn't expecting shit from it anyway, for real."
yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just, it's the defeatist mindset. So like I'm saying, if you're just entering it feeling what's the word? Like feeling good about it, like feeling like, I may learn some shit down the line, but on this day right now, I'm feeling like this is it. Like this, we doing this shit right. That this is a solid one. And that's all I say, even because as I tell my daughter, no, like my sister, she's divorced, twin sisters, one's never married, no kids, strong, doing her damn thing. The other one's, been married before, divorced, she's engaged now. So my daughter is seeing these different examples. So my thing is, no, things don't always work, but it's about the mindset that you had when you were entering in it.
Mm.
What was your mindset at when you were entering it? Was your mindset like you were looking at this person like they were a good person? Or was your mindset already like this? He already on some bullshit. Hell, what was your mindset? Because you
Even
can't
if he
always,
wasn't, because
yes,
sometimes
like,
we put something on somebody even if they wasn't on that. You know?
yes, like, so we just got to be real with ourselves. And I think that's the big thing and the big takeaway with just people, period, whether it's men or women, to be honest about the situation. And even if you realize that, like, if somebody you're talking about, or even who I'm talking about, it's okay that something didn't work out. It is okay. Like, it's fine. You're not the first person who's going to have a relationship to end, and you're not going to be the last person. It is okay. But we have to know when it's time to cut our losses, because it can be a matter of life or death. Did you see the story with the baby daddy who killed the mama of his 6 girls?
I just saw that.
How
I
about
just saw
this? Peep this. How about I went to her Facebook page? I was, because sometimes when I hear about these viral stories, I'm like, let me go to her Facebook page. I want to see some pictures. Do you know, in 20, mind you, her most recent baby that she had was what, a couple of months old? Do you know,
Oh,
in
wow.
in December, I think, of 2020, she did a post saying, ladies, be careful with who you choose to have children with.
Ooh.
Mind you, at that point,
Wow.
she had at least 5. Remember, she died. She had one that's months old. Sis, after you did that whole post, you went and had another one with the same damn person you posted about.
Wow.
That's that stuff I'm talking about. So I'm not here for stuff stuff ain't guaranteed to work. God damn it, use your fucking common sense early on if you can, because it can save your
Mm,
life. It
mm,
can
mm,
it can
mm,
save your life. You made a post 2 years prior talking about be selective about who you choose to have a kid with, only for you to go and give that man another one.
mm, mm,
You
mm,
made that post. It wasn't your mama or your sister. That had your name on it.
mm, mm,
So listen, we got to do better. We got to
mm,
do better. Period. I just put a hard period out. We got to do better. There's room for us all to do better. We
mm,
got to stop
mm,
pointing
mm,
the
mm,
finger. We just got to. It starts with accountability and owning our stuff. We got to own it.
mm,
That's the first step, to own it, to be like, you know what? I didn't make the best decision here, but I'm going to learn from it, versus still continuing to sit in an effed up situation that's killing you
yeah,
slowly inside. And guess who's seeing that? The kids.
mm,
You think they don't see that? You think they don't feel that energy? You think you think your kids and it's likely your daughter ain't gonna grow up and get in a situation just like yours?
Right, right.
Like, how do you not? That's why it's important to me, just as the example that I even show to my sons, because I have two boys, and then my daughter is the youngest of the three, because I want my daughter to see strength in her mom. And because I know that I am her example. I'm her first example of womanhood. So the way she's seen me move, that's going to impact how she's going to move in life.
Right.
And I
That's
don't want
right.
to see her as a young teenager or young lady and she moving recklessly. And if I'm honest with myself, I'm thinking about, damn, I did show her how to do that. She learned that from me. I don't want that. I don't want that. Everything I do it factoring in them watching me. But that's me being conscious about what it is that I do. I'm just very conscious
My
about that.
battery, I don't want my phone to hang up on you, but my battery's about to die. I
Well,
just got
yes,
the
it was good.
notification.
You know, girl, we had 2 hours and 59, so you about to end it right at 3 hours.
Okay. Well,
It
I
was great
appreciate it.
talking.
I'm about to subscribe. I enjoyed this conversation.
I'm
Girl,
glad
I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm
And
glad you
if
came
you're
up.
still on,
What'd you say?
if you're still on after I charge it up a little bit, I'll come back. But if not, I'll catch you on
Yeah,
another
I'ma
video.
probably because it's been I normally do them usually about if I have somebody up, it might turn to long like this, but usually I'll be up for about an hour because most of the time I'll just be talking or whatever and I'm not interacting with anybody. So this is pretty much like the cutoff if I am talking to somebody. So I may, end up tomorrow. I'll be at the Chris coming to Atlanta tomorrow. So I'll be there with my sisters tomorrow. So I might come back,
Okay.
and talk about it. But you have a good night, and I thank you. Make sure you, definitely put your notification on and subscribe because it was a pleasure talking with you, and you're gonna have to come back up.
Yes. Yes, I definitely enjoyed this. All right, I'll talk to you later. I don't want to
Okay,
hang up on you.
thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Listen, this was a great live. We covered a lot. Ashanti, Irv Gotti. Listen, I'm all for Ashanti continuing to move forward with her life and not looking back. Irv Gotti, listen, time to let go. You got to go find another way to make your money because sis is like, listen, I want no parts from you, and you just got to respect it, period. So, yeah, this has been a long live, but it was definitely a great live. Thank you for those who did join. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. Because as I say, I'm real random. We real random over here, but we definitely get into it and we do have great conversations, interesting conversations. It's a safe place for those who do have a difference in opinion. I like to hear it because you definitely gonna hear mine. So I want to hear what you guys say. So I will be dropping the links in the description for the sites where we visited to get the information that we got tonight in regards to Ashanti and Mr. Irv Gotti. But yeah, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'm a smaller YouTuber, so I'm growing, y'all. I'm growing. Thank you for the new subbies and thank you for those who are returning. And this is Chic signing out, and I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.